exit collision prevention, on that kind of thing. DPU smart NICs, which are advanced networking products that are used to increase the security and efficiency of data center servers, and ARM-based CPUs for cloud computing service providers. So these new and emerging products leverage ARM's technology to meet the performance, power efficiency, and customizability needs of modern data centers that provide cloud computing services. So, for example, Amazon is working on, not just working on, Amazon has rolled out ARM-based server processors that are reducing their dependence on traditional x86 vendors like AMD and Intel. In fact, the ARM ecosystem is arguably as vibrant as it has ever been. Everything from the watch on your wrist to the huge metal servers that are running all of the cloud infrastructure that powers the services that you use is basically running on ARM, probably at this point. So, the proposed deal would give NVIDIA control over computing technology and designs that rival firms rely on to develop competing chips. See, that's the thing. NVIDIA has a huge presence, both ARM and otherwise, in at least two of these markets. So through the Mellanox acquisition, they've definitely got something going on in the data center networking space. I don't know if they're actually developing DPU smart NICs. It's a space that I'm just frankly not familiar with. But when it comes to driver assistance systems acceleration, they've definitely got their fingers in that pot. And when it comes to cloud computing, absolutely, they've got their fingers in that pot as well. So this is a pretty cut and dried example of a non-competitive behavior, buying the company that controls the IP that your rivals rely on. However, NVIDIA has claimed that this wouldn't be a problem, but
Sure. We've seen how NVIDIA is happy to take advantage of the situation of being on top. I don't know if it's necessarily worse than any other major company that has been in a clearly number one position, because that's just always bad for everyone. So I can't necessarily particularly pick on NVIDIA here, but it's not like they're necessarily playing nice guys when they're in that situation, and this would just make them even more so.
So here's the thing. I actually wrote a follow-up video. I didn't write the whole thing. I wrote most of it. Let me just see if I'm logged into the right doc here. I created a bunch of notes for a video that I was going to call something along the lines of, like, NVIDIA, why are you so mad? You know? I remember what it was going to be called. It was going to be called Who Hurt You? And basically, most of the thinking that I was doing about it was really along the lines of, I understand at some point a very, very long time ago, you were a scrappy, desperate competitor, and you kind of had to leverage every possible angle in order to succeed. But
yeah,
that was at this point really a very long time ago. And at some point, don't you think you would like to just be liked? At some point, isn't it time to realize that you're not punching up anymore? You're punching down, and it's time to take a more magnanimous approach to your dealings with the rest of the industry. And it was inspired partially by NVIDIA's behavior towards Hardware Unbox. So this was back when that whole thing unfolded. But it was also inspired partially by the, at the time, regulatory resistance, and not just regulatory, but also industry resistance to NVIDIA's, I think at the time, alleged acquisition of ARM. Maybe it wasn't alleged. Here, I've got my notes up. Unfortunately, this particular computer does not have, oh boy. Well, that's a little uncomfortable. This computer doesn't have Word on it, so that's what opening this document looks like. I'm sure someone's going to manage to turn that into... oh, come on. Why does WordPad not even show... Like, this is the kind of stuff... I've done a lot of complaining about Linux in the last few weeks. But this is the kind of stuff that Windows absolutely needs to do better. Why is it that by default in Windows, open with does not bring up WordPad, which will open this document? Here it is, okay? Here it is. Why would it not just default to this view rather than what we saw before? I don't know. Luke, do you mind curating a couple of merch messages
Sure.
while I go through this? So here is pretty much what I wanted to say about it. Oh, man. Yeah, no one would talk on record. I wanted to kind of say, like, hey, let's look at your financials. Let's look at your market share, your public company, right? So this is all stuff that we have access to. Look at current growth. And, there's a bit that I've kind of written here, and I go, I get it. Only the paranoid survive. But there's a limit. You can't and probably don't even want to win 100% market share. So why is your grip so tight, Let's not pretend this pressure on the media through Hardware Unboxed was somehow an isolated incident, right? The difference is just that most of the pressure NVIDIA applies to partners, be they press partners or be they other partners, it happens behind the scenes, where those partners are far more susceptible to the kind of damage that NVIDIA can deal than independent media, who more and more are getting funded directly by their viewers. I have in here, massive shout out, by the way, to my float plane peeps.
Mic on.
LTTstore.com shoppers. So it comes across petty, emotional, and scared. Like, are you really so insecure that when you're in a position of unassailable power in the industry that you need to put down everyone else who thrives in your ecosystem to reassure yourself you're the top dog? You're the top dog. I said it. So can we put it behind us now? Right? So basically, I wrote a video that was kind of a lot of that. And I'm reminded of it now as we look at this kind of regulatory pushback, because it doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from this history of behavior that NVIDIA has, where every time they have an opportunity, whatever they might say about how they're going to encourage a vibrant, independent ARM ecosystem, nobody believes them. They don't believe them, because that's not what NVIDIA does. NVIDIA creates closed standards. They create closed ecosystems. They box out competitors at every possible opportunity. So I get it. I understand why the FTC is coming at them on this. I also understand why there's been a lot of pushback, not just from companies that NVIDIA has been openly hostile towards, like Apple, but also companies that are just worried that whether it's immediate or whether it's over an extended period of time, complete NVIDIA ownership and control over ARM's IP could have lasting and damaging impacts on their business. And that's honestly why ARM has been so successful. That's what's allowed it to proliferate, is that they have created this really amazing business model where you can license their technology in almost every way you could possibly imagine. Literally, actually, in every way you could possibly imagine, from just taking cores that they've designed and essentially paying to have them fabbed, all the way to taking the underlying architecture, designing your own core. And I mean, look at what Apple's done with that. They've managed to outcompete the entire rest of the industry with an underlying fundamental IP that anyone can license. I mean, it's incredible, right? And so why are we going to risk damaging a good thing, I guess, is the question. I mean, really, RISC-V is coming.
Yeah.
RISC-V is coming for ARM's lunch already. So
It's been kind of coming for a long time, but
do we need to accelerate that transition? Because that's what I feel like might happen if NVIDIA were to acquire ARM. I feel like a lot of these licensees of ARM's technology would just go, okay, well, writing's on the wall now. I guess it's time for us to go ahead and...
Someone in Flowplane chat said, as you were kind of transitioning into that, I think possibly before you mentioned RISC, they said RISC-V would get really popular if ARM gets sold. It's like, yeah, potentially.
Pretty much, but it costs so much and it takes so much time to make these major transitions. You guys got to understand, hardware is just such a small piece of the puzzle these days. It's all about the software. And so if Amazon had to go, whether it's Amazon or Facebook or Google or whoever it is, if they have to go and switch architectures like this, okay, we're going RISC-V now. It's not just as simple as, okay, compile the code for RISC-V and here we go. Not by a long shot. So much optimization takes place these days. And it's a years and many, many millions of dollars investment to do something like this. So honestly, I know I'm all about progress in general. But maybe we could arms just now, swinging for the fences. Why don't we let it just be for a little bit?
I don't think not wanting some gigantic conglomerate company to gobble up another company, I don't think that's anti-progress. I think you're all right.
I'm all right?
I think you're all right.
All right, I'm coming away okay on this one?
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll see what happens. The FTC, I don't think, is the only ones resisting this move, so... Why don't we move on to our next topic? This one's pretty funny. The Google Pixel 6 refuses to charge with low-quality cables. So there have been numerous reports from users on Google's forums that reveal the latest Pixel phones refuse to charge, but only under specific circumstances. And at the heart of the issue appears to be the quality of the Type-C cables being used. So lower-quality Type-C cables and chargers, incapable of power delivery, appear to be incapable of pushing any charge to the devices. And the really frustrating thing is that while on Google's support page, it is stated that Pixel phones might not work with some cables in order to protect the battery from the damage that out-of-spec charging might cause, there doesn't appear to be any meaningful error message that really gets pushed out to users. It doesn't say, hey, get more money, buy a better cable. It just
doesn't work. There's also a note here that I was kind of searching for, and I strongly agree with. On-cable labeling is extremely uncommon these days. It's not like Ethernet back in the day where every single one had the printing across the entire cable.
They still do.
Ethernet does?
Yeah, pretty much all of them I've seen. Yep.
Okay, sweet. Anyways, USB-C, not so much.
No.
I don't think I have a single labeled USB-C cable. I'm sure people out there do. It's very likely, I think, on the plug itself, you might have a little stamp that indicates what it is. But like
on USB-C?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
No? Yeah.
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope.
I haven't seen labeling at all. So like figuring this out as a layman would be very annoying.
Pretty much the only way that I can tell if it's wired for USB 2 or USB 3 is just by the thickness of the cable.
Cool.
And even that's not a surefire thing because it could just have a really thick sheath on 5 conductors, or I don't know, I guess it would be
you still can't
9 or whatever it would be for reversibility. And the thing is that in addition to just how many conductors are running down a Type-C cable, there's also the gauge of them, right? So especially as we get into, I think we've got 100 watt now, but as we get into 240 watt power delivery over USB Type-C, that is going to be really important. And it's actually a really great safety feature that Google has, that it just prevents the phone from operating correctly with a cable that could damage it. It's just that they need to do a better job of documenting what's happening or alerting the user to what's happening so that people don't get confused. All right, let's go ahead and roll this. Oh, wow, that's actually a really good question. Go ahead and do that. Okay, I think I'm going to have to just call this out because otherwise we're going to run into trouble here and people aren't going to get a chance to get their hands on it. The Swacket. Oh, that's not it. The Swacket is back, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. It's somewhere between a sweater and a jacket. So it's a heavy, heavy sweater, and I've got a large on. Long story, it is not going to fit this baggie. Normally our size medium is my size, but this is pretty much the LTT store hoodie for if you don't want the stealth hoodie or the WAN hoodie, you know? You want something that's a little more flash. It's got the reflective tape on the front, reflective tape on the back. It's got the big LTT badge on the shoulder, very much inspired by the original Swacket, but without some of the questionable choices that we made the first time around in terms of materials. So there should be a lot better consistency from one garment to the next this time around. Is that a large or an XL?
This is an XL.
That's an XL. Yeah, that looks about right. All right.
I
Let's
never
go
had
ahead.
the original one. This is cool.
Really? You never got one?
Nope.
Oh, yeah. We had a very limited number of the original one, and then we
Yeah.
never reordered because we had QC issues with them, and that factory just couldn't manage to make them. And it turned out it wasn't entirely their fault because we had like stretchy materials and really stiff materials, and they were right next to each other, and it was just an extremely technical garment. So, all right, let's go ahead and do that.
I'll go through these if you want to transition to the next one.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's jump into our next topic of the day here. What chip shortage? Hey, it's more NVIDIA news. NVIDIA is rumored to be launching RTX 40 series cards in 2022. I mean, the reality of it is NVIDIA would have started work on 40 series. What is this? Ada Lovelace, I guess is the code name for these upcoming ones. Can't remember. The point is, NVIDIA would have started planning for these, probably 3.5 years ago. So they would have had absolutely no way of knowing that they were going to have no way of manufacturing enough of their previous generation to the point where they're only competing against nobody. Like, there's literally no GPUs that anyone can buy anyway. So there's no point putting all of this R&D into releasing a new generation of GPUs.
That being said, and I memed on it a little bit
for
in
consumers.
the intro, I'm still happy they're pushing forward at the very least.
Yeah.
This is one of those situations where I don't want to bash on progress. Even if they're just instantly selling out, you might as well keep marching forward.
Yeah, you might as well keep marching forward. It's just from a business standpoint. If they just didn't have to,
Yeah.
then I guess that is a thing that they might have considered.
So I guess I appreciate
Yeah.
that
yeah.
they're releasing a new one.
If they're moving,
because
well,
they could just not.
Not really. In the data center, they've still got a lot of competition for like high performance computing.
Okay, that's fair. And that's where NVIDIA's pushing.
They're pushing heavy in AI right now,
Yeah.
and there are AI specific processors that
Yeah.
are coming out now that really look like they're going to take the fight to NVIDIA. So if they're not continuing to push forward on new process nodes, new architectures, there is the potential that they could fall behind. And once they've done that work, it is relatively speaking less work to take these new innovations and repackage them into a smaller die and deliver them in a consumer GPU. And NVIDIA is a proud company. I think it's fair to say that. NVIDIA is a proud company, and they would much rather beat the living stuffing out of their competition than just barely eke out a W. So as much as we might fault NVIDIA from time to time, whether it's for, holding back a release because they don't have a financial incentive to go ahead with it, they never hold back for that long, even during periods of complete dominance in the GPU space. They have eventually released more GPUs for you to spend your hard-earned money on, even if they really, frame these releases in the context of NVIDIA targeting its own former customers who own their 1 or 2 generations ago GPUs, as they tended to do towards the latter years of your tenure reviewing GPUs here, where they would just say, okay, yeah, this GPU, we're going after everyone who owns one of these cards from 3 years ago, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, that was super common.
I mean, a better solution would obviously be for NVIDIA to just turn GPUs into a subscription service. Oh, they did. Hey, why not both, right? If I'm Jensen, I'd love to just take both, right? Oh man. All right.
Should I do my little topic?
Oh no, there's still a little bit more for us to say about this. So reportedly, these new GPUs will be built on the TSMC N5 node, and the RTX 4090 will reportedly feature 18,000 CUDA cores with clocks as high as 2.3 to 2.5 gigahertz. That would put it at nearly double the RTX 3090's 10,496 cores at 1.7 gigahertz boost. It is also rumored that we could be looking at power consumption that is quite literally double or nearly double the current generation cards. And what this could also mean is that even though we're stepping down to the N5 node, these GPUs at double the CUDA cores, or nearly double the CUDA cores, could be so much larger that pricing could be proportionally that much higher than what we've seen in the past. You couple that with the ongoing silicon shortage, And we could be looking at quite possibly the most expensive family of GPUs that the world has ever seen. Our only hope, our only possible hope as consumers, is if Intel's Arc series comes out and doesn't suck donkey pee.
Yeah, that last part's actually really important. I don't know what else to say about the Intel cards because I feel like we've been waiting for a long time.
I have a fair bit to say about the Intel cards. I mean, they're rumored to be coming in Q1. They are rumored to be able to achieve performance up to about an RTX 3070, which would put them probably in 4060 sort of territory, which is fine. That's what most people are buying anyway.
I was just going to say, like, yeah, it might not be the sexy Halo product that some people are waiting to hear for, but that's the, like, workhorse card that a lot of people need. Yeah, that'd be sweet. I have no real issue with that.
Yep. But the problem is that even if Intel decides to flood the market with these sort of performance tier, but not top tier, so hopefully affordable GPUs, that's still not going to do anything about the overall shortage because while we might wish that Intel was using their own fabs, which are a separate sort of capacity bucket compared to the rest of the industry, which is reliant on mostly TSMC and Samsung for the cutting edge nodes. I mean, TSMC and Samsung, that's it. Unfortunately, Intel is supposed to be using TSMC for these upcoming GPUs. So there's a silver lining. On the one hand, there's only so many wafers that TSMC can process. But on the other hand, if Intel is focusing this production on relatively small dies that can turn a single wafer into relatively more cards, then more gamers can at least get a card so that if NVIDIA and AMD, for that matter, want to focus on larger die GPUs that obviously can be sold for more margin as higher end cards. I mean, it's no coincidence that we haven't seen a desktop 50 series RTX like 3050 or 3050 Ti. I mean, that ain't a coincidence. So if NVIDIA and AMD want to focus on those larger die cards, at least people can get something. And the more people have a GPU at all, the more we can hopefully see supply start to loosen up a little bit. However, the global chip shortage is absolutely a real thing. Sorry, conspiracy theorists. And even Apple has apparently been slowing iPhone production in spite of their careful planning and solid partnerships with chip fabs. So, yeah, good luck, everybody. Why don't we do a quick shout out for our new mic arms here? These are from Yellow Tech. They're Mika TV mic arms, and that's why we've actually got these all in the middle of the table now, which is really great for keeping them clear of our laptops so we can actually type. Well, Luke's actually isn't in quite the right position for him, but these are not the final tables for this set anyway, so we'll get that all sorted out. These are a lot better than the ones that we were using, and they actually stay put. I haven't had to adjust my mic arm at all during the show, which is something that I had to do about every 5-10 minutes on the old ones. So they're modular, so you can mount any number of different things to them. They look great, and they have sweet locks on all the joints so that they actually stay in place. You can check them out along with the rest of our podcast gear in the description. Thank you, Yellow Tech, for providing these mic arms 4 months ago. Took us a little while to get all
them here the whole time.
Yeah, it took us a little while to get all the hardware together, to get the set up, and yeah, okay. Look, sorry guys. we eventually definitely did install them. Yes, we did talk about the Swacket.
Just the reason why you're saying you should get it now, we only have hundreds now. We're gonna have thousands soon.
Right. So I probably should have clarified that. Yeah, Nick dropped down here. They've been hard at work figuring out how to get any Swackets here before Christmas. So the ones that you guys have available now are air-shipped ones. So we're eating it. How much does it cost us per unit to airship Swacket? It's got to be at least like $10.
Yeah, it's like 18 or something.
18.
Hey, these are only air-shipped because they couldn't fit in the container. That's
Okay. So they're only air-shipped because they couldn't fit in the container. Anyway, the point is we only have a few hundred of these. These were actually the last ones off the line. and then they didn't fit. So they airshipped them. So they got here ahead of the ones that are on the sea right now. So if you want to get one before the end of the year, now is the time to order a SWAC kit. But there will be thousands more coming in the new year. So thank you, Nick. Okay, we've got everything. We've got perfect clarity on all of that now. This is why I can never be trusted to... this is why I can never be trusted to pass along the Creator Warehouse stuff. Those guys, they're like basically a completely separate company now. Not basically, they're actually on paper a completely separate company. Speaking of which, we've got one of, I think, our coolest update newsletters from the LTT store team. This is super cool. Kyle actually went through and gave us a bit of a lesson on injection molding in the This Was a Big Problem for Us newsletter. If you guys aren't already subscribed to the newsletter, you're going to want to make sure you do that because they're going to be trying to put in all kinds of cool little tidbits. We're giving some details on why the screwdriver was delayed yet again. Basically, one of the vents for our molds got plugged partway through production of the bit clips, and so you can see it's causing some cosmetic issues here. Now, some of these parts can actually be reground and then mixed in with new plastic so that they can be used for the production of future screwdrivers. But some of them cannot. So we're going to have to figure out what to do with some of these assemblies that have been completed. But rest assured, if you guys order a screwdriver, you will not be getting one of the mucked up ones. But basically, he goes through and he gives like a little lesson on how injection molding works. And it's super, super informative if you don't happen to be a manufacturing engineer. So make sure you're signed up for the newsletter over on lttstore.com. Oh, I wanted to do a hiring search update.
Yeah.
So we have gotten some extremely interesting applicants.
Yeah.
I'm not in a position to name names.
No.
Because
no.
that would be super awkward if it's someone that we haven't hired. But I am expecting an application package from someone who is OG tech media. Like OG written media, someone that I've really enjoyed all of their work over the years, someone who went over to the manufacturing side some time ago, and I just, really felt like that was a huge loss for independent tech coverage. Don't even try to guess.
I won't, but
I don't want to get anybody into any kind of awkward position.
Oh, of course not. I'm not going to, but I think I might know who you're talking
it's someone that I don't get to work with nearly as much as I would like, but who I am hoping to have an opportunity to work with all the time. I've gotten a slightly less OG, but also like written media, personality that has applied. We've gotten one applicant who has worked on some pretty amazing software for benchmarking and
this one I definitely know.
Yeah, this one benchmarking and validation. And I just want to reiterate, guys. So for everyone who hasn't applied yet, don't be afraid to. Don't be afraid to apply. Don't be afraid to reach out. It's not like we don't understand, what the value of someone with a lot of experience in this industry is. It's not like we don't understand that manufacturers have a lot of money to throw around, but we also think that the mission that we're embarking on here is really important. And if you believe it's important too, then what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
Apply, and so maybe we don't hire you. Maybe we can't come to an agreement, but at least don't be afraid to start a conversation, right? And
if you haven't heard from us yet, I wouldn't lose hope yet.
Yes.
There's a lot of applicants. There's a lot of things going on. Hold tight. We'll be trying to get to you as soon as we can. But a lot of things happening.
It's definitely going to take some time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We should go through our sponsors for the show today.
Thanks to Team Group for sponsoring today's show. Celebrate the season with Team Group's holiday sales. Get great discounts on SSDs, RAM, USB sticks, and SD cards. On top of the sales, Team Group is also giving you the chance to win a brand new gaming PC. Simply vote for your favorite products in each category, check out their extreme ARGB PC build video, and follow the Gleam instructions underneath it to get your entries in. They're also giving away 5 to 10% off coupon codes just by entering your name and email. The first prize is a brand new gaming PC, and the second prize is some T-Force Delta RGB DDR5 RAM. So check out Team Group's holiday sales today and enter for your chance to win using the link in the show description. This show is also brought to you by Comet Backup. I remember when I lost half my photos I'd taken for a wedding photography job due to my portable hard drive taking a fall off my desk. And let me tell you, it's an awful feeling losing important data. Whether you lose something due to ransomware, hardware failure, or human error, losing your data can be a business-ending event. And that's where Comet Backup comes in. Comet Backup is a fast, flexible backup platform for businesses and IT providers. You get to choose where the data is stored, local on-premises storage, or any of the leading cloud providers. Get secure, encrypted backup software for computers, emails, databases, and servers that can grow with your business with Comet's scalable per-device pricing. So test drive Comet Backup with a 30-day free trial and get $50 in free credit when you sign up with our promo code WAN. Start running backups in 15 minutes or less at cometbackup.com.
Microsoft tries to wedge more into Edge. So users are crying bloatware as Microsoft has introduced another feature into its Edge web browser. You want to run us through this one? It's pretty
Sure.
not the best, actually.
I gotta find it first.
It's 10 out of 10, not the best.
Yeah, Microsoft tries to wedge more into Edge. Very cool. You just gotta, mess with those users that are actually still using your browser. That's a very good idea.
The few like Chromium Edition Edge, enthusiasts out there. Why don't you just tell them, haha, F you.
Users
smart.
are crying. The two remaining users are crying bloatware as Microsoft has introduced another feature into the Edge web browser. The newest update to Edge has introduced a payment installment system provided by Zip. Why? This system allows you to pay for items through up to 4 interest-free installments, assuming you pay on time. Oh, it has in the notes all 14 Edge users have been expressing their concern as services like these are often seen as predatory, and exploit consumers' worst spending habits, encouraging them to spend more money that they don't have. Wow, this is so
Weird.
yeah.
Unnecessary. There, that's the word I was looking for. The U word.
It seems like a very odd move for Microsoft to do. Like, if anything, if it was their own product, I would have been like, that's, like, not cool, but
At least it makes sense.
I at least understand where it's coming from.
Yes.
This is just really weird.
Super weird.
Ugh. Users have also accused Microsoft of being money grubbing. Yeah, for sure. That's exactly
But
what this
Microsoft
sounds like.
hit back.
Okay. Where is that?
Microsoft said Microsoft is not involved in providing the loan and does not collect a fee for connecting users to loan providers.
Cool. Yeah, we understood that part.
That still leaves a lot of wiggle room for less direct forms of monetization, like, say, for example, receiving payment for integrating the feature into the browser in the first place.
Which is exactly what I expect had happened in the first. Like, what? That doesn't mean anything, Microsoft. Come on. Currently, there is no clear way to disable this feature. Actually, there is. You just only ever use Edge to download other browsers.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you could pick up Firefox or Brave or Chrome or... I'm still a
What do
Chrome
you
user.
use?
I'm still using Chrome.
I use Chrome for work
It's so convenient.
because the profiles thing is so nice. I have like 4 or 5 different profiles because I use different emails for different things and all this kind of stuff. And then for non-work, I use Firefox these days.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, interestingly, merchants are automatically opted in to the payment system and have to specifically opt out for the system to not appear on their website. This isn't the first time Microsoft has implemented a shopping-focused feature into their browser, and that's not the problem. In November 2020, Microsoft added coupon code and price history display functionality a la Honey directly into their browser, which I heard about and thought was cool.
Which that one would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like, that's a
Not a problem.
pro-consumer thing.
Yeah.
Figuring
sweet.
out how to help consumers take on more debt is always terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, hold on. Okay. Some people absolutely do need to finance purchases. But
You shouldn't.
I can guarantee that the kinds of things that you're buying with the kinds of debt that you're taking on through your web browser are probably not those things.
Yeah.
Probably not. Most people are not buying, say, food, for example, through their browser.
And some people do.
Some people are.
And some people need to.
And some people need to. And I'm just saying, probably not.
Yeah.
And those people who do need these services can probably find them.
And
so
they probably have already.
Reducing friction, right? That's an industry term for helping people spend their money more easily. That's what it means, essentially. And that's what this move is. This is a friction reduction move, not a providing a valuable service to people who desperately need it move.
Hopefully this reduces friction for users switching off of Edge.
Yeah, that's pretty much the best outcome that we can hope for here.
Speaking of friction, it's not in the doc, but I want to complain about it. I'm actually very adamant that I complain about this on the show today.
Okay, what do you need to complain about?
Apple.
Okay, all right, yeah, that makes sense.
So we've been focusing on the web front end of the website for quite a while now.
Yep.
We decided to divert and focus some efforts on the app. Sorry for people who recently had issues with the Android version. It's already fixed. Please check the store if you're still having problems. But that included releasing an update for Apple. We have talked about mobile app development for Apple on this show a lot because we've had an extremely problematic path the entire time.
Yeah.
Very, very rough to deal with them. We talked not even all that recently, but somewhat recently. Definitely recent in regards to the whole timeline of how long WAN shows are going for. We talked about how Apple is apparently becoming more friendly with app creators because of Epic and that battle that semi-concluded and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So we were like, okay, we're going to update the apps and we're going to try again with Apple. Because the last thing that we did with Apple was we cut out almost every single feature we had in the app other than the ability to like play a video.
Yeah.
And just
Comments
let it out there. And there's no comments. You weren't able to know what was going on when you couldn't view anything in the app because we weren't allowed to tell users what the problem was. Like the most recent update for the iOS app for Floatplane is terrible. It is.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because there was nothing else we could do. Apple basically told us that it had to be terrible. We weren't allowed to make it good. It was very frustrating. So we just kind of left it there because there was nothing we could really do anyways and moved on. Now we're trying to update it. We're trying to make it better because theoretically we can do that. We post an update to the iOS store in an attempt to improve it. And it gets rejected, and I'm so mad immediately because, like, we've been rejected, and if you've watched the show, we've been rejected a very large amount of times. At one point in time, we were rejected for, months, literally, trying to make it better, trying to make it more acceptable every time, just to get a response back that they just sort of screwed up, I guess, and it's been fine for, like, a long time, and then they finally let it through. This time, the problem, apparently, was that they couldn't log in. Which is weird, because when I originally set up the account specifically for them, I set it up, I logged out of it, and I never touched it again, and I can pretty much guarantee you no one else on the Floatplane ever touched it again, because why would they?
Why would they?
It's been the same this whole time. They tried to sign into the wrong app. They sent us a picture of the app that they tried to sign into. I have no idea what app that is.
Me neither.
But it's not ours.
Genius.
Come on. So now we have to, like, reapply to be able to put our update out. Because when we try to push something to the Google store, we just upload it, and then it takes usually a couple or a few days, and it propagates, and then people can download it. With Apple, you have to get approved first. So it has to go through the approval process again. So, like, Apple people out there that are using iOS devices, I'm sorry, I don't know when it's going to be available.
Yeah.
Apparently, they can't log in to the right freaking app. So we'll have to wait until they figure that out.
I don't even know how they managed to find the wrong app. Like, surely they have an internal workflow.
How is it not automated?
That it, like, tells... We only have one app. So it's not like, surely they can see what developer they're interacting with, and they would just check the, like, apps that they make.
Yeah.
So it's not like they could have found another one.
I honestly would have assumed that it was like contained environments.
I would have thought it was super automated.
Yeah.
Like whatever credentials we've provided them, which obviously we have to so they can log into our app, I would assume that it would just autofill it and that they would just click on which app it is from this developer. Like, how is it not? Like, what are they on, like Zendesk? Like,
I don't know.
And
I don't
no
know.
offense to Zendesk. How did we use Zendesk at some point?
Zendesk, I believe, is being used for Creator Warehouse.
Do we still use it?
I believe it is.
Okay,
For
okay.
Creator
Is it
Warehouse.
all right?
We use Freshdesk. They're both fine.
They're both fine. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, not hating on Zendesk or anything. I just mean, they're a $1 trillion company. I'm sure they probably have their own internal tools for those sorts of things. So it
It's
just
just-
surprises me.
We have literally, I'm not joking, had more than half of our applications to release an app on the iOS store be grievously mishandled than we have be properly handled. And
Yeah.
that's crazy.
It's insane.
I just, it's so frustrating. It's so difficult to release an iOS update just because it is so difficult to deal with Apple. The rest of it's fine. It's, anyways, back to normal topics.
What were we going to talk about next? I actually had something.
I
Oh,
see.
yeah. Someone in Flowplane chats said they wanted you to talk about Halo Infinite.
Yeah, I saw this
Yeah.
highlighted. I don't know why.
Why do you want to talk about Halo Infinite?
I don't.
Oh, you don't. I tried it for the first time today,
What do you think?
like post-release. Really fun.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
just
it's just
cool.
like
It feels like fun Halo again.
yeah, it's totally fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake made me try it because he's been like, you should try Halo Infinite. You should
Yeah.
try Halo Infinite. And I've been like, oh, I don't have time. And I haven't had time. But we were shooting a video at the new house today. Oh man, it's going. Permits are in,
Oh.
or
cool.
not in. They're back.
Yeah.
So everything's going. Like they cut a hole in the floor, Luke. The stairs
oh,
are framed.
Right. Okay.
Like,
wow.
Like, it's getting real. Like, we were there today, and from the morning when we started shooting to the end of the day when we left and we're done shooting, there was, like, noticeable progress. Like, I'm actually going to eventually move into this house that I have now owned for many moons. So I'm really excited. But, yeah, we were there shooting a video, trialing, running my gaming rig in the basement, and then running an optical cable up through the floor to what will be the office where my rig is eventually going to end up. And it worked great, and the game that Jake wanted me to try out was Halo Infinite. So that gave us an opportunity to check and make sure that the internet there is running at full tilt. Turns out she is.
Nice.
We were able to download it extremely quickly, and we wanted to check, make sure the system was running properly. It's got an RTX 3090 in it now, so that was a little upgrade for me. Happy birthday to myself. It's running great, and the game looks great.
Yeah.
We're on super smooth. It just
feels
feels good.
Right?
Yeah.
That was the main thing for me. I get a lot of pleasure out of that. Not that kind.
You're able to jump right into the action, get a
Yes.
couple of kills, as
It's
long as you're
quick.
not stupid and totally overcommitting and
What
getting
did you
flanked.
think?
Like, it's
Because I
fine.
made a pretty big deal about this, and I knew people were going to laugh at me for it, and they did.
This guy, I don't want to talk about Halo Infinite. Won't shut up about Halo Infinite.
Well,
Go ahead.
I
Yes,
didn't have
please,
anything
go
new
ahead.
to say.
Please,
I
go
didn't,
ahead.
I didn't know you played it. What do you think of just the screen that comes up when you launch the game?
I found it kind of confusing.
The basic menu. Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand that part.
I just don't get
You're
it.
not the first person who said that. So, like, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I also don't play a lot of modern shooters, so maybe
I
if
mean,
you
there's
play,
a multiplayer button, right?
yeah.
What?
So I clicked it, but then like the settings was like way a little tiny thing in the bottom right corner.
Okay.
Like that's the first button I'm looking for when I launch a game. I want to like make sure it didn't totally go herder mode when it was trying to figure out what the settings should be, because usually they do. And it had VSync on by default. Who plays a competitive shooter with VSync on?
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean,
For
the
sure.
game has awful tearing
Oh, yeah.
if you don't have VSync on, so that's a thing. And G-Sync wasn't working because I was over Thunderbolt to HDMI. Long story, my normal dock and my normal Type-C to DP cable weren't there. We're gonna get that fixed for sure. But
I'm happy you liked it. Oh, okay. I think I know. I never cared about this, but I guess they made the progression system more friendly or something.
progression.
I'm
system.
not playing Halo Infinite for the cosmetics. I don't care.
I couldn't give two hoots about that.
My dude looks vaguely like Master Chief. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want him to look like a samurai.
I mean, if I could have like a chef hat, I'd be super into that.
That'd be funny.
Master Chef. That's
Sure.
that's the only thing that
They
I
got to
would
do
want.
that at some point.
They have to. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of time.
I just people are so mad. Like if you go on the Halo subreddit and stuff, and I'm probably gonna piss a few of them off right now. People are so mad because the progression system is like bad or something.
Oh, okay.
I just could not care. The game is fun.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, imagine. I
kind
don't
of
know.
where the buck stops for me.
Maybe this is just me being full boomer here, but I can't imagine caring that much about like cosmetics in a game.
I care about cosmetics in some games, for sure. And I've talked.
Yeah, you
on
were super
Wancho-
enjoying how Chad I was in that Tarkov.
Yeah.
You guys like gave me all the gear, and then I just like stupidly put it all on. You're like, wow, you look like not a level 2 or whatever level I was.
Yeah.
And then I immediately proceeded to lose all of it. Multiple times.
Part of the fun of that
Multiple
game,
times. They would just deck me out, give me like all the best stuff, and I'm like standing there like, whoa. And then I just immediately get knocked.
I care about cosmetics sometimes because they can be used as like as accomplishment rewards, if that
Sure.
makes sense. So it can show off that you have done something, achieved something, etc. And I know for a fact that content that could be based around that has been cut from games in order to take those cosmetics and put it in the store. This is a free game. This is also arguable because the campaign is going to cost money, and the campaign now no longer comes with a multiplayer because the multiplayer is just free. I'm assuming by buying things of the campaign or accomplishing
Well, I'm
things of the
assuming
campaign,
you'll get co-op.
you're probably going to unlock
Co-op
things.
multiplayer
That's coming.
with the campaign though.
Yes.
So
And I think that's coming like way late along with Forge.
I'm gonna have
So,
to
like,
buy that, I guess.
I can definitely understand why the progression system in cosmetics can annoy people.
Sure.
But personally, and I know this is against the grain, whatever, it's a multiplayer shooter that is fun. That honestly has been pretty infrequent.
Yeah, let's take it when we can get it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, it's been a while. Like
That's fair.
Tarkov is really fun, but it also has like
It's
a horrifying.
punishingly difficult.
It has a horrifying learning curve.
Yeah.
It's really, really difficult. It's hard to
Yeah.
just play once or twice pickup games with your friends. It's all
Yeah,
that kind of
for
stuff.
sure.
So it's cool, but it has problems. And outside of that, like Battlefield is rough right now. Battlefield is very rough. COD is trying as hard as it possibly can to not be COD anymore. Like things are just kind of weird. And
Yeah,
then
that's
Halo
fair.
came out, and it was just like a good. So I'm just happy about that. Yeah, I guess maybe the progression system's better. I heard that and never even looked into it 'cause I don't care. I don't care if it's better. I don't care
Mic
if it's
off.
worse. I don't
Yep.
care if it doesn't exist. Doesn't matter to me. The game's fun. Sounds good.
We should do some merch messages because we've got quite a few curated ones here. So I'm gonna start at the bottom. Oh my goodness, there's a lot. You've been curating a lot more than I was.
I skipped probably like half. There's been a lot today.
All right.
Yeah.
Matthew H. Do you think the 4000 series cards will have any better of a launch, or will Nvidia just give up since people got mad last time anyway? There's no way it's going to be any better.
No.
It's just going to be what it is. Autumn B might have been the first to order the Swacket. Leaked. Been waiting so long to get one. Good to see you finally work things out to get this legendary bit of gear back in the store. Heck yeah. Hope you enjoy the new one. Zachary asks, any updates on your experience with the Chevy Volt? From a fellow 2017 Volt owner. Actually, we had a really interesting conversation about the Chevy Volt, Luke and I, back when one of his acquaintances was looking for a new car. And honestly, my best recommendation for their use, which was about 45 kilometers each way to and from work commuting, pretty much all they were going to do with the car was go try to find a used, is it second or third gen, whatever go try to find a used last gen Volt, because there's almost nothing else like it. A full electric car was not in their budget unless we were talking like one of those super low range ones like the Leaf. And the Clarity is basically like trying to find unobtainium, at least here in Canada. And the Prius Prime just doesn't have the range. You would have to charge at your destination to have any hope of making it back on battery. So you're going to end up spending a bunch of money on gas. I've been thrilled with it. I mean, it's not the most peppy thing in the world, but
One interesting update.
yeah.
That person that went with the Prime, as you know, one tank of gas.
Really? Mind you, I didn't know that they were going to be able
They
to
could
charge at the
up.
other side.
Yes, so they have been charging on the other side. They have also been bundling up
one who
quite
should
heavily
fear
and
me.
not turning the heat on. But
Which they would have been able to do in a Volt.
yeah,
Just saying.
but 1 tank of gas so far, and
You will learn of my
that
ruthless
was
efficiency.
because of,
Like a miscalculation, probably, or something.
or just I don't fully even remember, but it like.
Had to go somewhere far.
And I don't even think it was like a full tank. I think
Yeah.
they were just kind of topping it up.
I mean, I really still think that plug-in hybrid is a great middle ground,
Yeah.
depending on your use case. It depends on your use case. There are problems. It does add complexity to have 2 full freaking drivetrains in a vehicle. That's not, okay, not quite 2 full drivetrains, but I think you guys understand what I mean. 2 methods of propulsion. It adds complexity, but it dramatically reduces the amount of lithium and other rare earth metals that are required to produce the vehicle, and it dramatically reduces the amount of emissions. Like, yeah, if you're the kind of person who buys a plug-in hybrid and then just drives it around on gas all the time anyway, then okay, yeah, obviously you're not doing it right, and there's no benefit to it. And I think that's what a lot of the arguments against plug-in hybrid have been based on. But for my part, I burn like 6 tanks of gas a year,
They're also
and they're like 30 liters.
I think, and
it's-
we've talked about this before,
Maybe
but I
not
think a
even
lot of
6,
people
like
just
5.
don't get it. I think it's almost a Wii U type of problem,
You think so?
sort of, because there's a bunch of plug-in hybrids that are like, I mean, they get bundled with those cars that are not even, they should not be in the same category as the Volt.
Oh, you mean like regular hybrids?
Yeah.
No. Well, okay. Yeah, the fact that they're even using the word hybrid.
I think consumer understanding is bundling those things together,
Right.
and they're just so drastically different.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
I
it's
don't know.
very frustrating for me because it really does feel like we missed out on this fantastic middle ground. I
Yeah.
do between 80 and 90% of my driving on battery, which is great. And obviously, in a perfect world, I wouldn't burn any gas. But the reality of it is, burning a little bit of gas might not be worse than the kinds of things that are being done to get access to more lithium right now. Like, it's not a simple cut and dried answer. So at some point, yeah, I'll end up going full EV, or I'll end up going, and who knows, hydrogen? I don't know. Whatever the answer ends up being. But for now, I'm extremely happy with the Volt. And for my use case, which is commuting to and from work and pretty much doing nothing else with that vehicle, it is awesome. It's just outstanding. Ian, longtime listener, first-time caller. Any chance of a collab with Level 1 or Craft Computing doing enterprise virtualization stuff? Unraid's neat, but I think it'd be interesting to see something like VMware, Hyper-V, or Proxmox focusing on clustering. So for us, you know, a big part of what we try to do is make things relatable to our viewers, many of whom are gamers or consumer technology users. And so if we had any reason to use those technologies, we would. We haven't really come across it yet, so that's the reason why you haven't seen us covering it that much. HG69 Serving? I don't know how to pronounce that, but basically bought one of pretty much everything on the store and said, awesome merch. Screwdriver and backpack when? Screwdriver won't be until next year, and backpack won't be until next year. I am absolutely stoked on this backpack, though.
Yeah.
I came back from my trip, so this is my first trip, like really daily driving it. I'm like, okay, we need to make some tweaks to the curvature of the foam here. We need to do this, we need to do that. Hey, that change I wanted to make before, totally changed my mind. Scrap that, we're going to leave it the way it is, but it is going to be flippin' awesome.
Did you have more thoughts on the like shoulder thing that I was talking about?
What was the shoulder thing again?
Needing to loosen the straps in order to get it on.
Yes. I think there's not a ton that we're going to be able to do about that,
I think that's a
unfortunately.
pretty normal thing with bags.
Yeah, so we're going to have, it'll be a metal clip that should have some pretty good, like, dig-in. So it shouldn't, like, loosen too much when you are loosening it
That's
to
cool.
get it on.
That's actually really nice.
So yeah, they're going to be metal, but in terms of, like, the elastic on there, I just had durability concerns about it.
And my bag has wear there.
Yeah.
So, like...
So the way that it's built is just, like, 3 stitches anywhere there should be
Tank,
one.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't want to do anything that's going to compromise that.
That's cool. Yeah, bags get beat on, so, like,
Yeah.
it's good to have it be
And that's, honestly, we had someone internally bring up some concerns about the high carbon nature of some of the businesses that we're expanding into, like merch. So flying these products all around the world. And basically what I said to them is, look, there's nothing we can really do about the reality of transporting goods around the planet. But what we can do is we can try to make things that last. We can try to make things that are designed so that you won't have to buy the next one.
That's big for me too, and that's actually one of the reasons why, legitimately, like outside of the necessities of the job that I have, I've supported and been behind LTT Store the whole time, is because I think you and I both have a problem with, I don't even remember what it's called right now, fast fashion.
Yeah, fast fashion is like terrible.
I hate it.
Which is why nothing we do is particularly fashionable.
Yeah.
We don't pay attention to trends at all. I don't care.
And it will always look good.
It'll always look like what it is.
Yeah.
Which is LTT Store.
And like this is one of the examples, like this, sorry for moving away from the mic, the SWAC is one of the examples of like, I can't think of a single point in time in my life where I thought this wouldn't have been at least pretty cool.
It's fine.
Yeah,
at
it's
worst.
It's not exactly on trend for this season of this year.
Nope.
But like, who cares? I have never been on trend for any season of any year.
The
so
Swacket was already kind of a weird out there thing when we first launched it, like 4 or 5 years ago or whenever it came out. And this is just pretty much that, but we fixed some of the QA issues. So it's certainly not any trendier today.
Yeah. So if you like it, that's cool, and hopefully it'll last a long time. I don't have anything from LTT Store, and I have some old school stuff that's like,
here was undesired.
Oh, for sure.
It's all still good.
Yep.
Which that makes me believe in it a lot, personally. Anyways.
Samuel says, hey, any ETR timeline on the build your own PC for kids? Our son is 4 months old. It would be awesome if it comes out in time for him to have it at the prime age it's meant for. There is no ETA on that project. Not only are we having some... Well, actually, we've solved most of the difficulties with the magnets. So we were really concerned about embedding magnets in wood. Because if a kid eats a magnet... Oh, boy. And glue loses, I forget, it's like something like 20% of its strength every year until basically it fails.
Actually, it's useless,
And so eventually, those magnets were going to get pulled out and some kid was going to eat it. So I pretty much told the team, I was like, look, if we can't screw the magnets into the wood, we're not making this. So we had to figure out a way to screw magnets into wood, which has been challenging. I think we're there. I'm pretty excited. But that project has been sort of sidelined by something also magnet related that is a little bit more mainstream. So instead of being something that could be like a 6-figure project, it's been sidelined. That engineer has been moved on to something that's probably a 7-figure project for us that I'm going to be really excited to tell you guys about when we're a little bit closer. But I think Nick would murder me if I told you anything about it today. Because we're just not that close. We're doing a ton of work. It's been really interesting getting the perspective of our engineers who are like, I was talking to one of them. He's like, yeah, I'm not like the world's best engineer or anything like that, but I have to say that, I'm a good engineer. And because I was telling him, I was like, wow, this is amazing that you've like done this, and it was a bunch of work he'd done on like magnetic pull strength. And he was like, yeah, well, it's because I'm like a competent person who was actually given a reasonable amount of time to work on something. And I was like, oh, well,
wow.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing then. It kind of blew me away that these people who are coming in with experience from outside of Linus Media Group are like, yeah, I've never really had time to do my best work. I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. That's stupid.
We see that in the software/game development industry all the time, right?
That blows, man.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, this is interesting. John Z asks, you've done How Does LTT Make Money? I would be really interested in how LTT spends money in the same format. With all the additional things like Creator Warehouse and now LTT Labs, it would be really interesting to see that breakdown. Oh, man, how do I do that without saying too much? I'm not sure, because to me, how we make money is something that I'll reveal far more freely because, I see us as having kind of a responsibility to the rest of the creator community to disclose, what these sources of revenue are and put it out there so that others can use it as a benchmark. Like, hey, okay, hold on a second. Linus and his team are doing, 25% of their revenue through merch. Mine's at 2%. Have I missed something here? Have I missed the boat?
Maybe I should crank
And
that
so
up.
they can
Yeah.
so they can course correct, right? Whereas how we spend money is sort of like a step farther ahead. It's like it's what we haven't done yet. Whereas how we're making money is showing what we've done. So there's the risk that I'm going to say something and I could end up actually misleading someone. Maybe they see how we're investing and they go, oh, I need to invest like that. And it ends up not being a success for us and then not a success for them. I don't know how I feel about that one. Nothing's impossible, but right now that is not on my radar. Victor, any updates on making past and future newsletters available as a blog or something similar? Hopefully Nick will do that at some point. Nick, people asking for newsletter archive in blog form. Okay, yep, I'll see what I can do about that. What else we got here? Cole, hey, I've heard you make a couple of Taylor Swift references in the past month. I'm dying to know if you're a Swiftie, and if so, what's your favorite album? So I've talked about this before. I'm not really a fan of anyone. I just don't really. I don't really. What's the thing about never meet your heroes or whatever it is? People are human. They're full of warts and flaws and mistakes and I'm no different. And I don't believe in the word fan has such a terrible connotation for me. It's short for fanatic, right? Like it's not rational. It's not reasoned. It's just it's rabid. It's crazed. It's not. I don't think people should be fans of people, and they especially shouldn't be fans of organizations that want to make money off of them.
Yeah.
You can respect someone, you can enjoy, you can appreciate their work, but no, I wouldn't say that I'm a Swiftie, and I would not join a fandom of any sort like that. I absolutely respect everything that well, I shouldn't say I respect everything she's done. I respect the career that she has built for herself. I enjoy her music. What else can I really say? What else needs to be said? I mean, is that not enough? I don't have a favorite album. I've never bought an album. I've never gone that far. Like streaming, baby.
Yeah, streaming's kind of a thing now.
Streaming's pretty cool. Like, who buys an album? Like, I'll listen to all her new music, but I absolutely don't need to own it the day that she releases an album. I'll wait for whenever it shows up on my streaming service. I'm not going to switch streaming services. Like, there was at some point I was on Google Play Music, and like her most recent couple of albums were not on it. I was like, okay, I guess I'm not listening to those ones then. Like, it's just very straightforward for me. I'll listen to it, I'll enjoy it, but I don't need to listen to anything. I can kind of enjoy pretty much any kind of music. One exception, I immediately was on to the new ABBA album, which I did quite enjoy. But then I forgot about it and I just listened to whatever again. So I don't know.
There's a decent amount of stuff these days that I like to listen to that's pretty much only in YouTube video form. So YouTube music is big for me because then I can at least listen to it.
Stop.
Yeah, that's fair. Minky? Will the channel review more e-scooters and such? Maybe on Short Circuit, but I wouldn't expect a ton of it on LTT. Kyle asks, are there any companies that a merger with ARM would lead to innovation in the whole industry? Ugh.
I refuse to let you
Wow,
hurt me.
not that I can really think of. I mean, that's the whole thing with companies, right? Like, they exist for one purpose, to make money, right? So, taking ARM's approach, which is obviously to make money through licensing its IP, and tying that to anyone else who presumably anyone who would buy ARM for what it's worth, right? Like, they would have to be a beneficiary of that IP. would create a clear conflict of interest. So no, I really can't think of anyone who should own ARM, at least within the IT industry. Whoops, I might have just accidentally nuked the wrong merch message. My sincere apologies if I missed yours. Pierce, watched last week's WAN. My wife has a long torso. She's super excited you're planning on a long line women's cut shirt. Yes, we are. She says llama fit and alpaca fit for women's sizes.
That's why I
What does that
curated
mean?
that one. I don't know, but I thought you might be interested.
Is it like a PC way of saying, like, you know, pear shaped or whatever?
I'm not like I have never made a comparison between these two animals that specifically.
Yeah.
But I believe llamas have longer, skinnier necks. So would that be like a tall? And alpacas are like fluffier?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I give up.
I'd have to look it
I
up.
think we're probably just gonna go for non-PC, lanky girl, thick girl. Like I think we're just gonna whatever we use for guys, I just want to use for girls as well, and we'll just be like, nope, those are just the words that we use.
We ain't saying it's bad. We ain't saying it's good.
You cannot like those words,
Mic on.
and that's fine.
Cool.
Mic off.
Buy it.
Nice. Battlefield said that. Battlefield went like this.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we don't. Hopefully we don't suffer the same fate. Oh man. Okay. Hey, cool. What else we got? We just got a few more. We got a few more to get through here. Watched the WAN show last week. Says, oh, that's Pierce. Ryan, hey guys, been watching since the Langley House era, now close to graduating college. Hey, awesome. Just accepted a job last week with a particular GPU designer. Wanted to share my gratitude. Hey, thanks, Ryan G. Appreciate you. Maximilian, I'm looking to build a NAS with a lot of storage and PCIe links.
Mic on.
/other. Do you have any affordable CPU recommendations that would work and have Windows 11 support? Well, you're probably going to want to go with like, oh man, Ryzen 2000 does? If I recall correctly, Ryzen 2000 TPM 2.0. Hold on, let's check that. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. If you pick up like a multi-core Ryzen 2000 or something like that, that would be pretty sweet. Or like a 2000 series Threadripper. I'm not sure what eBay prices are like on those, but if you need a lot of PCIe lanes, old decommissioned Threadripper systems are a good way to go about that. That's what I did for the badminton streaming system at the badminton court that I equipped with all those cameras and stuff. I went for like I was going to be using Windows 10, so I didn't care. So I went with a 1000 series Threadripper 16 core. It's freaking awesome. Got all them PCIe lanes. Like, there's nothing really
Makes
comparable
sense.
to it for the
Yeah.
price.
Yeah.
What else we got here? I need the shoe fan / battery pack. Currently using a ski boot dryer for my work boots, and it doesn't even work that well. Oh, Dalton. It's been delayed. Honestly, this is not just an excuse. Silicon shortage.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That
we
makes
can't.
sense.
We can't
That
even
makes
get
sense.
just like randomly. Even DigiKey, like the prices are up 5-10x what they were if we can get certain stuff. And when you're trying to prototype things, you know, you break. There's some breakage. You break one thing, and you're like, okay, well this is stalled until I wait 32 days for a new thing to come in. Like it's making everything take so much longer.
That's brutal.
We will make it eventually, but it's been very, very difficult. Would you ever consider making an LTT blanket or pin set? Okay, those are both very different things. We are working on pins, but they'll be like free items. As for an LTT blanket, believe it or not, yes, we are working on it because we have a ton of alpaca wool, and I kind of want to do just like a really nice duvet. And then just a techie, but not incel duvet cover. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
like
because you'd need the partner to be okay with it.
the partner approval factor, the path,
Yeah.
needs to
Yeah.
be
Path
pretty
level
strong.
needs to be high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anonymous, how viable would it be to estimate how viable would you estimate the LTT backpack for a mobile twin monitor setup? I use a G-Chic monitor. Would it be possible for Floatplane to have a platform-wide playlist for all content uploaded chronologically? Okay, there's no way they're going to develop that feature, sorry. No, but it would be reverse chronology. So they would want it just autoplay. the like next video from that uploader. Actually, I guess that would be pretty possible.
Platform-wide playlist for all content uploaded from the web.
Yeah, if you just
That's the homepage.
yeah, but it won't autoplay the next thing.
Oh, it can.
Could we autoplay the next video?
We have.
Should we do that?
I'm staying away from those types of features because we have a player that's like genuinely really close that's coming out that is like the theater player, and it has a whole bunch of other. It's just like way cooler and way nicer. Once that is out,
Got it.
willing to entertain those types of things. Yeah.
As for the dual monitor thing, it's a pretty big backpack, but I don't know if I would guarantee, depending on like what system is powering your dual monitor setup.
A G-Chic monitor isn't that one of those USB ones?
Yeah, they're pretty small. I mean, I would think it would work, but it really depends on the diagonal size.
I guess we can't like guarantee it. But
Yeah.
I'd wager it'd work. Yeah.
Tarl, we cannot bring back Luke's birds. They were really bothering some people who have like ear conditions that make them really sensitive to those noises, so it's not happening. Not happening. It's a good suggestion, doing a build with a YouTube singer. I don't know what like a singer-specific build would look like, Blue Wolf.
Oh, this one I curated because there's this. Okay, I have never been a notable fan of just freestylists because I find it always comes off a little rough, and I'd rather listen to like
Something that's planned.
yeah. There's this dude on YouTube called Harry Mack. He's incredibly good, and I think it could actually be like really entertaining to have you build a computer for him, and he freestyles the build.
Huh.
I think it could genuinely be really cool.
It also might just end up being one of those things that is more cringe than not, like the ASMR build. That the people who liked it, they liked it, but it was the worst performing video that we uploaded this year, I think.
Oh, whoa.
Other than just fully sponsored, like some product no one cares about and people didn't want to watch, like and something like that. Yeah, it was real. It's got 820,000 views, man.
I've never heard anyone freestyle at a level that I would say is 75% of what you can do.
And let me tell you this. This is one video where I'm grateful the dislike button's gone. To be clear, I'm not. More transparency is absolutely what I believe in. That was a joke. For those of you who are not 100% picking up on the verbal irony there.
Speaking of which, I have not vetted this, so look into it first. But there's an extension you can download for Chrome.
Yeah, it won't work once they pull the API.
Yeah. It works now though, and it's grabbing historical stuff, so you can.
Yeah, they're pulling API access in like 2 weeks. It's a very temporary solution.
No, for instructional things, like if you're trying to do handiwork at home,
Sure.
where you might watch a video that's from 6 years ago, it'll still have the info from then.
Oh, it will.
It's grabbing historical data right now.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
They're going to be limited to how many API calls they can do, though.
I think they are, and they're like trying to work around it and stuff. I was reading about it. I haven't vetted it, but I was reading about it.
This
and
whole thing is so stupid.
It is. It's extremely. It's already made viewing things on YouTube more difficult for me to the point where I have just closed YouTube out of frustration and tried to find another way.
Yeah.
Which I'm hoping will reflect in some form of watch time registration.
I don't think it will.
I don't think so either.
So much of watch time is just like cute cat videos or whatever. I mean, even those can be really frustrating. Like you'll see like cheetah takes down a gazelle or whatever, and it's this 4-minute video, and like the cheetah doesn't. You know, like it's just.
Yeah.
Or it's just like a bunch of someone else's footage that was just cut together and has nothing to do with, like oh man, it's. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys other than to write your congressman. Yeah, that won't help. YouTube doesn't listen to them. Yeah. Benjamin, borrowing a neighbor's VR gear for a month. Love it. Any recommended games other than Alex and Beat Saber? I mean, I spend almost all of my VR time in Beat Saber. I used to really enjoy Hollow Point. Be ready to sweat, though.
Hollow Point's amazing.
Yeah.
I was actually going to specifically say Hollow Point.
Check out the lab. I mean, it's old. It's an oldie but a goodie. The archery game in it is really outstanding. Space Pirate Trainer is a classic. I played through Trover Saves the Universe in VR. It was fine. I just haven't tried that many VR experiences other than Beat Saber. I just love Beat Saber so much.
Horseshoes and hand grenades. or sorry, hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. Yeah.
I haven't tried that one.
Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades.
Excuse me. Whew. All right, let's go ahead and
There's no zombies.
hit our next merch message here. Hey, I'm applying in Q1-ish next year. Got some contracts and stuff till then. Was wondering if I could possibly do correspondence work on crypto news until then. Any interest? Technical-wise, I'm pretty set, on par with most of the boys. Currently very deep in crypto, though. I can tell you now that crypto is going to be a bit of a sensitive area for the gaming audience, which is really our bread and butter. So while we do report on crypto stuff from time to time, I mean, we did a full series about it a couple of years ago, it's the sort of thing where there's a lot of friction there. And it's a funny thing because, you know, I believe that a lot of gamers are mining crypto on their GPUs when they're not gaming. Personally, I don't have a huge problem with that, particularly during the colder months when, quite frankly, you could either be heating your house with some other, a lot of the time, like electric baseboards, or you could be heating your house by mining crypto and making some money off of it. I
Not
don't
all
see that.
areas are the same, too. Like some places are,
Yes.
especially in Canada, are very heavily powered by renewable energy.
Yes.
So like, yeah, why not?
So I think there are ways that crypto can be used the way it was intended. But I also see why there's a lot of friction between the community of people that are not using it, I think, as the creators envisioned, and the people who just want access to hardware and to power that is cheaper and affordable, right? So, yeah, I can't say that that's something that we're likely to focus on, but I do think that it's something that there is the potential for us to cover because it is an area of tech that, like it or not, is becoming larger and more important. ND1 Club. Yo, this merch is sick. It's perfect for the PNW climate. Oh, Pacific Northwest climate. Okay, that might have been one that didn't need to be curated.
I meant to push that one. Right when I read it, I was like, oh, oops.
Alex73630. Thanks for all the work you've been doing. Been a sub for years and a Floatplane OG member. Hey, heck yeah. Still enjoy the content. Can't wait to see all the surprises y'all preparing for the next year and beyond. Hey, thanks. Joshua. LTT got me into computers and tech when I was 10. 8 years later, I'm going to pursue computer science in college. Love to hear it. Enjoy your gift card. Ashley. Thanks, and thanks to Anthony for recommending Pop OS. Wife and I love it. Bill. Also, any plans to make bras? Ashley. I gotta say, as someone who is not a breasts expert, I'm not a FBI member.
Right.
Remember those horrible shirts?
Those were
They were cringe.
they
Very
were
cringe.
trash. Yeah.
Yep. As not a breast expert, I would feel like I don't have a lot to contribute to the bra space. Like when it comes, okay, so we've got a garment coming that I think is going to be really cool. It's called the workshop jacket and workshop coat. I don't remember, but it's designed for like an engineer or maker. So it's like got lots of pockets, but it's made out of like this super, super robust material that would be very unlikely to ever get snagged or get caught in anything. And it's like got like a leather patch LTT logo on. It's like super cool. I had nothing to do with it. I basically didn't touch it other than to be a size model for the medium size. And there's a reason for that. That's because folks like Colin and Tynan, it's and like Kyle and Alex, it's designed for actual engineers and actual makers, were the ones who spec'd it because they were the ones who looked at the other options that they've had experience using or that they see out on the market and went, yeah, but it doesn't fit my needs in this, and this way. That's why we made that garment, because we found something that didn't address our needs and felt we could do it better. With a bra,
Pockets.
what? I mean, there are bras with pockets.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Also not an expert. I have
Yeah.
nothing I can add in this realm. I don't know.
so it's one of those things where, if I had, breasts and I really felt like, wow, what if they didn't need to separate?
What if they were RGB?
What if all they did was support and lift, or whatever, right? I don't know. I just have nothing. I just have nothing to contribute, or at least I feel like I have nothing. I mean, okay, quick release. quick release bra. There, that's my.
Don't those already exist?
Oh, probably. I don't know. I mean, they have all kinds of different bras. Ashley, I wish you luck finding a bra. It's such a specialized garment. I just don't see us getting into it. I know that the ladies in Creator Warehouse are definitely hard at work on underwear and ladies fitted garments, but bras I think are just not in the cards anytime soon. Okay, that was a very long-winded no. What else we got here?
Part-time remote data scientist? Probably not.
Probably
I think there's
not.
a lot of work that needs to be done.
Yep.
More than part-time.
Michael, I am supposed to be working on the numbers book, counting computers. Obviously, there's going to be a what's a computer reference in there. I'm supposed to be doing that. Sarah keeps writing me about it. Like, yeah, I know. Nick keeps writing me about it. I will do it at some point. And then I definitely want to do colors and shapes and all that kind of stuff. I haven't gotten around to it. I'm sorry. I've just been really busy. Anonymous says, hey, thanks for the content. I know Scrapyard Wars is out of the question, but do you have plans for in-house, large-scale competition-style videos with LMG staff or guests? Yeah, I'd love to revisit the Cardboard Case Challenge. We're always down to do challenge-type videos. The problem, though, is that a lot of the time they're a ton of work. They tie up a ton of people's time, and they don't necessarily outperform us just vlogging individually, so it's tough to justify. Anonymous, would love to see a shirt length in the sizing guide. My arm length often doesn't play well with clothes that match my shoulder and chest width. We're going to be working on making more detailed sizing guides as we go forward, especially as we bring out the thick and lanky sizing or like size options. So you guys will have to just you'll have to bear with us here. Michael H, yes, more colors of shirts are coming. They are coming. We actually have colored shirts upstairs now. Should I bring them down? Why don't you do a few more while I bring them down? I'm going to bring them down. I'm going to leak everything.
Someone mentioned a bra that could work as a controller, and I thought that was funny.
I mean, you could do it with a makey-makey.
Yeah, you could. Anonymous said, thank you for the swacket. It looks very useful, and I was looking for a new jacket. Anyways, for a video series question, have you considered doing, this is going to be probably difficult for me to answer, have you considered doing tutorial-style videos for how to use things on Windows/Mac for different topics? There's a thing that we did way back in the day. I didn't do that many episodes of it because there honestly wasn't that many things to cover. But it was called Luke Software Discoveries, I believe. I don't know if we called all of them that, but we did it. We've done a video on Ninite. We've done a video on the thing that I can't remember right now that makes you can use your mouse on multiple computers. We've done some of that content in the past. Software stuff is pretty specific. It's going to have to be like really interesting, and no one's going to care if we make a video on how to use Word. So you have to like consider all of those things at the same time. So it really depends. I would definitely say it's not out of the picture, but I don't think it's like a main thing that they're driving for. We are covering Linux. We have some videos on the channel right now on how to use Linux, how to set up for different things, and obviously Linus and I are. I mean, we've been done for a while now, but the videos are coming out for the Linux challenge that Linus and I did. So, yeah, someone in Full Plane Chat said the mouse thing is called Synergy. Isaac S. said, hi, Luke and Linus, love the show. You talk a lot of smack about website tech media, especially, I don't know if we do that much, especially when it comes to the Linux stuff. Okay, sure. With how fast LMG is growing, why don't you put your money where your mouth is? I don't think making a text-based website for Linux stuff is in our future necessarily. Those are some pretty cool colors. Are they on camera yet? No. There we go. I like this.
So these are our own label shirts. So you can see we do have black. We are attempting to reduce our reliance on American Apparel with their terrible, terrible supply chain management. That's the reason that we've only been able to have black. So these are not the only colors that we're planning in the future, but this is our first order. We've got, like, I think it's only a couple thousand of each color, so we're coming up with some cool designs for them. And this is something I learned recently. Again, an innovation from the ladies in the Creator Warehouse team. Scrunchies.
Oh.
So I learned that hair scrunchies like this are usually, or not usually, okay, I don't know if usually, but are often made of the scraps that would have otherwise just been thrown away from t-shirt production.
That makes sense.
So our scrunchies are going to perfectly match our t-shirts, which
That makes
maybe
sense.
is not as relevant right now while we only have unisex cuts, but once we have fitted shirts and stuff like that, you could totally have like a scrunchie that totally matches your shirt, which is totally cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, so these are cool. So this is sort of sample packaging of
Right, yeah.
what this might look like, but LTT logo, and then we've got a little thing. These scrunchies are made from repurposed waste fabric from our t-shirts. So it's pretty neat, right?
Sweet. Nice.
Yeah. I
Kyra P. Thanks for the awesome stuff, guys. Luke, what would you say Apple could improve the most about their development process? Would it be a policy change in what's allowed, or a change to the submittal process?
Submission.
P.S. Miss you on more. I think there's supposed to be more in that message, but I appreciate it. There's a few things that kind of drive me nuts here. One is you have to pay, I believe it's yearly, to be allowed to put things on the Apple platform, which is like cool in some ways.
Yeah.
Because it keeps the Apple Store clean.
Yeah.
But it's also annoying in other ways. I have to pay for a horrible experience. That is the problem.
That sucks.
If the validation of apps happened significantly faster, and if they were significantly better at it, we have had so many false negatives, it's extremely, extremely difficult to deal with. The fact that that costs a very not insignificant amount of money, this terrible service costs a not insignificant amount of money, is just despicable, and it needs to die.
We're not doing any more merch messages other than what's been sent already, so don't bother sending more. I don't know about chemical engineer applicants for Creator Warehouse. You'd have to reach out to them about it. But I should mention, guys, half of the swackets are gone for the air shipment. You'll still get a chance to get more once the sea shipment arrives later, but half of the air shipment is gone. So if you wanted to get one right away, then make sure that you get it right away. Will there be a winter coat for Canadian Northerners? Okay. We do have a soft shell coming. We have a rain shell coming, but I don't think we have anything like really hardcore in the pipeline right now. We want to try these sort of slightly simpler technical garments first. Make sure we get the water resistance right. Make sure we get the fit right, and then we can tackle stuff like that in the future. I mean, that team is growing so fast right now. So it's very expensive to run. Also, every new project costs deep into six figures to develop and then place an initial order for before you ever get any kind of return on it. So there's just a limit to how many garments that we can have in the pipeline at a time. Samuel, longtime viewer, first ever YouTuber merch. Would you ever switch LMG to using Linux with Windows servers to remote into to edit and to perform other Windows necessities? That's honestly one of the things that Luke and I talked about a lot during the Linux challenge, is if you need, like, if you're using Linux to what? Browse the web? Like, browse files? And then to do things you need to do, you need Windows? Then why?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, it sounds like using Windows with extra steps. If you kind of catch my drift. So no, I don't think I would ever have my editors like run Linux on their machine just so that they can remote into a Windows machine with all of Windows's quirks anyway, because then you're piling quirks and bugs on top of quirks and bugs because neither of them is perfect. Why are you doing that? You might as well just have one set of quirks and bugs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're gonna have some regardless. Yeah, feel the same way.
Yeah, I just don't think that's happening. And finally, Nathan W. Have you ever thought about doing something on amateur radio? No. Interesting hobby, and there's more to it than a bunch of old white guys talking over the air. Really? Okay, I have to admit that was sort of my perception.
I have heard
of ham radio.
This many times.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about it because I think I have the same ideas of it that you do. So because they included that part, I was like, huh, and curated it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, actually, there's a few more. Anonymous. For the lab, you should get a pick-and-place machine so you can mid-scale manufacture your own electronics. Yeah, maybe. Kyle's been bugging me. We'll see. We'll see. Peter says, saving up gift cards for when the bag and screwdriver come up next year. I'm hoping I can apply multiple gift cards on one order. I have no idea. I would think so. Trevor, enjoyed the air conditioning PC video. I'm in my senior year of studying to be a mech engineer. I love the engineering application there. I'd love to see more videos like that. Expect it. We've got some pretty cool ideas for how we can turn that system into something daily driver practical. Yeah. I mean, not from like a power efficiency standpoint.
No.
Subambient is never going to be power efficient, but definitely from a not going to break standpoint, which would be really neat. And I think that's it. David R., we're working on the problems with the float plane app on Android.
It's already been pushed. Hopefully it hits your store soon. Check the App Store directly, because sometimes when updates come through, they might just be sitting there, and you might not have it yet.
Okay.
Oh, I have a quick funny story.
Yeah, hit me.
That
Swackets are going away.
I got a thing.
Yes.
We had the LTD Christmas party, and there was a thing that I received. I can't tell you what it was. It's very cool.
Oh.
Do you remember what the exact phrase was on it? It was about the rule that people have to have pants.
Our dress code is pants.
Our dress code is pants. So the funny part about there's multiple reasons why that's funny. An additional funny part that you didn't know was the team that I was on, our color was pink.
Yes.
And we decided to slightly alter the colored scheme and go with Lambo.
We had team colors at our Christmas party this year.
Cool.
The theme of the party was teamwork and getting to know each other, because we haven't had an all hands event in 2 years.
Yeah.
And our team has doubled in size since then.
And a lot of people are working remote for a certain amount of time, and you're supposed to space out and not interact as much at the office, yada yada. So
which is blown.
Yes, it has. Our team was pink. We merged it with some green, went with Lambo. I thought it was really cool. I was pretty happy with our team's overall look. But part of the thing was, at one point in time I said, what should we wear for bottoms? Because we had the shirt, we had all that kind of stuff figured out. And Nick was like, oh, just wear blue jeans. I didn't really think about it until pretty much the day of the event. I didn't own pants. These are brand new. I didn't want to talk about it when you gave me the thing, because I knew we were running short on time. But
So everyone who got a 5-year service award, which included everyone who had previously crossed that milestone, because we changed how we're doing our 5-year service awards, got a little phrase written on their 5-year service award. And the reason that Luke's was our dress code is pants was because his inability to manage to put pants on in the morning was the reason that we had to implement a dress code. And our dress code is super reasonable. I mean, I'm not exactly, the most formal dresser myself, but all I ask is you put on pants, because he used to live in the basement of the Langley House office, and he would just roll out of bed. I'm not even convinced he brushed his teeth sometimes. He would roll out of bed, walk upstairs to his desk, plunk himself in whatever he happened to be wearing to bed, and it's like, Luke, put on pants.
So yeah, I wear shorts a lot these days, but yeah, I didn't have any pants. So I went and bought some pants.
Neat.
Yeah. First piece of clothing I've bought in years.
Good for you. Jeez. All right, last merch message. Justin H says, do you have any notable updates on your experience with the Framework laptop? No, it's been great. What can I say about it? I mean, when it breaks, I'm sure I'll have a notable update, because hopefully it'll be super easy to fix. I'm kind of tempted to break it on purpose and then see how easy it is to actually get replacement parts. Because just because they, in theory, are replaceable doesn't mean you can actually do it.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they're...
And we're live. Welcome to the WAN Show, ladies and gentlemen. Got a fantastic show lined up for you today. This is going to be this is kind of the Hobbit approach to WAN show.
Yeah.
Because we kind of had WAN show, and then now I guess we're having second WAN show.
Yeah. Well, you are.
I'm having second WAN show.
Yeah.
But we didn't actually really talk about a ton of tech news or what's going on in the tech community on the last show. Then again, half the time we don't talk about that on regular WAN show either. Okay, the point is, Gamers Nexus bought what I guess is called a scam pre-built from iBuyPower with a 10-year-old GPU in it. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. Microsoft and Qualcomm seem to be determined to make each other's platforms less appealing. So we're going to kind of jump into that a little bit later. What else we got here today?
It's official. The PC is the ultimate hardware of all time.
For gaming.
For gaming.
Sure.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice.
Also, Tesla is going to use footage that it records of you.
That records
not
of what?
Just the road. It records of you. There's
They're-
a new update to Tesla's full self-driving driver's assistance program, and it's an agreement to accept Tesla can use footage from both outside and inside
The vehicle. Brilliant. Who could have seen this coming? Let's go ahead and roll that intro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, obviously we're going to have to jump right into our first topic of the day. PC Gamer has reported on this. Surprise, surprise. Games Radar has reported on this.
Oh.
The winner of the 2021 Golden Joystick Award for the best, hold on, where is it? Best gaming hardware, okay, is the PC. So there was some some nominees, okay? PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080, Nintendo Switch OLED, WD Black SN850 NVMe SSD. So this was the best gaming hardware 2021 shortlist. And then there was Ultimate Hardware of All Time to celebrate 50 years of gaming, and Ultimate Game of All Time. So the ultimate hardware of all time is the PC, which as much as I'm, as obviously a lover of the PC gaming platform, as much as I get it.
The best individual plant of all time is trees.
Yeah, it feels just kind of like a puff award.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Hot take. That's really stupid.
They should have.
I kind of hate it.
They would have had
actually.
to say like platform or something.
Yeah, it would have had to be platform, because to say the ultimate hardware of all time, you really do have to pick a piece of hardware, because that means if you're going to say the PC is the ultimate hardware of all time, then the PC has to go up against console.
Yeah.
Right? And you could make the argument that in the early days, home consoles, in a way, were more revolutionary for gaming acceptance by the mainstream than PC gaming was.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the Nintendo Entertainment System was such a move towards the mainstream. The way the Game Boy, like portable gaming, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
the way
Nintendo kind of brought it back, because it was declining there for a while. Right?
Yeah,
but
and
like
Nintendo
Atari
even
is
had-
huge too. Oh, is it far away?
Nintendo even had like the Game & Watch and stuff like that before the Game Boy. My Game & Watch was pre Game Boy, right? Like
Yeah.
this is all before kind of my time. My family, I didn't have a Game Boy. Like that was not.
Yeah, Game & Watch is before that though. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an optional purchase that was not going to happen
Yeah.
in my family.
Yeah.
But to put PC up against console is kind of already kind of silly. But to consider,
And how do you define ultimate too?
I don't know.
Because you can do more with a computer. There's kind of a reason why there's more computer-based Twitch stream gamers than there are console ones.
Yeah,
But
as a
does
creative
that,
platform
does
as
that
well.
make it more ultimate? I don't know.
I don't. I don't know. That's a really tough. That's a really tough sort of question to answer. Like, I might say, okay, what about the first GPU with like hardware TNL or something like that? What about?
This is actually really funny. Sorry, I'm going to throw this in there. Gabe Newell accepted the award on behalf of Personal Computers, and there's a note here that I don't know who wrote this, but absolutely, I agree with them strongly. They say, "And who better to accept the hardware award than a man who's famous for developing software?" This is the whole problem. Gabe Newell's fantastic. He's done amazing things for gaming. He's done amazing things for the gaming community, the PC gaming community. Absolutely. Steam Deck looks super cool.
Yeah, but let's not
Good.
pretend it's purely altruistic.
Oh, not at all.
Okay, cool. Just making sure we're on the same page.
Mic on.
And
One reason I hate this Easter egg.
And it's not.
But he has nothing to do with gaming hardware.
No.
Like I would have been far more.
Well, in modern days, a little bit more, but like.
Yeah, I would have thought it far more fitting if someone like Jensen was up there accepting it.
Sure.
Not that he likes talking about
That wouldn't be my
gaming
favorite
that
one
much
ever,
anymore.
but
Okay.
it would have been more on the nose for sure.
The point is
would have
that
been- yeah.
you want to talk about gaming hardware.
Yes. Yeah.
Like he's been involved
For sure.
since the
Yeah.
founding of NVIDIA, who is the only OG, graphics accelerator company left.
Still around. Yeah.
So like let's ATI purchased and he's been there since day zero
Okay,
of
yeah,
NVIDIA.
that's
So
fair.
if you're going to talk about
I just don't like it because it's very current branded, if that makes sense.
I mean, I don't like it for a variety of reasons, but if you want to talk about someone who would be appropriate to
Much
accept an
more
award
appropriate.
on behalf of the PC gaming platform, I think I can't
no,
think of a
PC
better fit.
Gaming hardware specifically.
Gaming
right?
hardware,
So the
right.
whole problem is that it's not called platform.
Right, because he's also pushing software pretty hard now with
yeah.
GeForce Now and stuff like that. Okay,
Well,
actually, is it still
GeForce Now is a very hardware heavy thing. You just sell it as a software. Anyways.
It's literally we're not going to sell you the hardware
It's
anymore.
it's avoiding gaming.
It's hardware as a software service.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Luke. I don't know, man.
On the other hand, we have the ultimate game of all time.
Yeah. So how do you choose an ultimate game?
That's tough. That's tough. There's a big part of me would jump to like category founders.
Sure. Okay. So you would go and you would say, okay, Legend of Zelda for NES as like sort of the first. You could think of it as kind of like the first open world, game. I don't know if there's anything open
Wasn't
world before
like,
that.
Like Dragon Quest or something. Dragon Age jumped into my mind, but that's not.
That
it.
sure as heck
That's
isn't
not
it.
Dragon Quest, yeah. I think it's called Dragon Quest.
Throne? Throne? I'm just guessing at this. You guys will know what I'm talking about in a little bit.
Yeah, the first Dragon Quest was 1986.
Okay.
The most recent Dragon Quest is to be released soon. They've
People
been
are
making
talking
them forever.
Dragon's Lair, OG Doom, Tetris.
OG Doom. Honestly, the first thing that jumped to my mind was
Yeah.
OG Doom. But then I was a little bit like, I don't know, because I like FPSs.
Yeah.
And like I have to try to take my own personal preferences out of it, so I'm not entirely sure. But something like OG Doom, where it's like it kind of creates a category.
Yeah.
Everything for a long time is based on it. It is still referenced, all those types of things.
I could see something that was like super culturally relevant, like a Pac-Man or something
Sure,
like that.
Pac-Man, yeah, because that was massive for gaming because that was like the whole arcade scene thing. Like
Yep.
blah, 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 blah. Pong has some
For obvious reasons.
Pretty major
First like
importance.
home game. Like
Tetris has some insane records behind it.
I sure as heck wouldn't have picked Dark Souls. Now, to be clear,
It has some pretty intense accolades.
I'm not hating.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not hating, and I'm speaking out of ignorance. I have not played Dark Souls, and maybe that should be my next game. Maybe I should play Dark Souls, but I think that it's fair to say that Dark Souls didn't invent
Games being hard.
anything,
Yeah.
and especially didn't invent games being hard. Dark Souls is a throwback. to games being hard. It's not inventing the idea of games being hard. It's far from the first roguelike. It's far from the first difficult game. And if anything, previous eras of gaming are far better known for being infuriatingly difficult. Like, there are
I don't
arcade
know.
games.
If you're a modern gamer and you didn't play back then, because I know what you're saying. I know there's literally games that are effectively impossible
To beat.
I know.
Yeah.
But if you're because you were saying well known for that.
Well,
So if you're a modern gamer, if there's a difficult game, it is always compared to Dark Souls. This is the Dark Souls of FPS games. This is the Dark Souls of something.
yeah.
Like it is
Sure.
in modern relevance. It is extremely strong in modern relevance. Anytime anything is difficult.
I understand that, but just because something is culturally relevant today does not mean of all time.
Ultimate of all time. for the
Ultimate
last
of all
50
time,
years.
because I could make the argument again. I have not played Dark Souls, so fair enough. But I would personally make the argument that in terms of creating an immersive world is a far better example of what can be the art of game creation. So something like a Breath of the Wild or a Skyrim or something like that would be easily
Has a lot of claims.
arguably more important than this game that is known for being very difficult.
Do you think it's? I'm sort of stealing this from you. I'm sorry. Do you think it's possible that they could have had an answer that wouldn't have pissed off the majority of people?
No.
Yeah.
So if you were gonna just gonna use a random number generator anyway, then just don't have the award.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I had to guess, I would say it's because they just wanted to do something different. They just
it
wanted
got us,
to say,
it got us talking about it.
yeah, they wanted to say something. We wouldn't have talked about it if they'd picked Tetris, or
No.
if they had picked
'Cause it's
Doom,
boring. Yeah.
or Unreal Tournament, or or something. Like if they had picked, because you could make a solid argument for something like Unreal Tournament. Unreal Tournament was a game changer for multiplayer.
Online
So,
multiplayer.
so you wanna talk about sort of moments in gaming, right? Like Pong is so important because it brought gaming into the house, right? Unreal Tournament brought gaming over the internet
Multiplayer.
to the world. Like
Unreal
it's-
Tournament was the first time that I think in an average gamer's repertoire, the hardware on the ISP level that was being provided to you was like common terminology used amongst friends. That's probably the only
Yeah.
time that has ever been a thing. Like people were talking about what their ISP was technologically capable of delivering to their house, not what they were currently receiving.
Yes.
Like this was very intense.
ISDN, baby.
People were paying to have lines brought to their house, which is not a huge thing
a
right now.
child, okay, at the time, I paid. I made a deal with my parents. If they would pay the monthly subscription service, because we had satellite TV, we had no coax to our house. If they would pay the monthly subscription, I would pay out of my allowance and money that I worked for to have the drop done to our house, because it was like hundreds of dollars, and they were like, "Well, we don't care. We'll use dial-up forever." And I was like, "No, please, no, no, please, no. Is there any way that I can get faster internet?" And they're like, "Well, we did get this quote." I was like, "Yes." It was You know what's really funny? I never thought about it this way. But that was probably my first big ticket purchase
Yeah.
in my life, was the cable drop for high-speed internet. That should tell you everything you need to know about me as a person. 'Cause, man, I was
What
like,
do you think a percentage of your net worth at that time that was?
oh, like almost all of it.
100. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was like 12, 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have money.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
What was it? Was it for one thing in particular, or was it just you just wanted better internet because
It was for
you can't use it when your freaking mom's on the phone or whatever?
Yeah, it was for being able to use the internet more
Uptime,
often.
okay.
It was for playing games. You've met my friend Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he and I used to try and play games back in the dial-up days, and his family had 2 phone lines so that he could game a lot more than me, which was good for him but not great for me. So we couldn't play a lot of the time, so it was for that as well, and for
You know, we had dial-up, and we also had, I don't remember if this is the exact brand of it, but you'll know kind of the category of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So we had dial-up and we had net nanny.
Nice. Got that net nanny.
It made it so that, and this, I'm literally not exaggerating, and there's people that I knew, including my brother and my dad and my mom and friends from that time that know that I'm not exaggerating. I would connect to RuneScape, because I played RuneScape when I was a youngin', and it would take so long to load in. Once I was loaded in, it actually wasn't that bad.
Right.
But it would take so long to load in that I could go downstairs. Computer was upstairs.
Yeah.
Go downstairs. I could make a sandwich and some juice, eat the sandwich, drink the juice, and you know how slow I eat.
You're the worst.
Go
It's
back
amazing
upstairs.
that he grew as large as he did at the rate that this man eats. Like, I wouldn't think it possible for him to consume calories at a rate greater than he can burn them.
Yeah, it's rough. So like that's a very substantial amount of time. Some people might think like, oh, it's quick. No. And it would be like a bacon sandwich. Like I'd cook bacon. Like this is a long.
So we're not talking
time.
like peanut butter on bread. Okay,
no. This is a like meal sandwich.
A meal sandwich. I like that.
and then I'd go upstairs and it would sometimes not even be done yet. But somehow, and even when I was a kid, I was like, this is crazy. It wouldn't time out. It would just
Right.
keep loading.
It would just keep going.
And eventually
ever.
Yeah, eventually we'd connect and I'd be able to play. And eventually we convinced our parents to get rid of net nanny, and we also had the lines to our house, but we also had the conversations about like upgrading our internet and stuff. Luckily,
Yeah.
our dad was a gamer, so it
Yeah,
wasn't
that
that difficult of a conversation. but
Helps.
yeah.
Oh man.
Anyways, it's Dark Souls, whatever.
Yeah,
Who cares?
okay. I think that if we're going to poo-poo someone else's choice, then I think we have to come up with a better choice. Do
Okay.
you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Or
Ultimate
do we
game.
have to agree?
No, I don't think we have to agree. I think
Okay.
we can push back on each other, but I don't think we have to agree. Because I've actually got one ready that I'm not sure what your take on this is going to be, especially in light of sort of the current state of things. But
Okay.
I would make the argument, if I'm going first, I would make the argument for WoW.
I had the same thought. I wasn't going to say it, but I think in terms of like moving mountains in a way, if you know what I mean by that. I think there's very few games that have done similar things. The amount of cultural impact is huge.
Yep.
The amount of people that played it, not as much these days, sure.
Yep.
But like at its peak, literally everyone I knew played.
Yep. And it's still
It's
millions.
still huge. It's constantly going down.
It's
because
constantly
of
going
extremely
down.
poor
Yes.
management, et cetera, but it's still huge. I still wouldn't say the ultimate game of all time necessarily, though, personally.
But
I understand the argument,
there's no perfect choice.
and I think there is no perfect choice.
Okay, so beat me then. Come up with a better choice.
Yeah, so I was gonna say Doom.
Doom.
Doom is
Really?
It's boring.
It is a boring choice.
It's a boring choice. WoW was definitely a more interesting choice. I thought about WoW too. The reason why I think Doom is it's even in the big gap, before Doom 2016
yeah.
and after the last one, whatever one that was.
Yeah.
Even in that big gap, Doom was still very culturally relevant. There were
Now-
still people going like, "Whoa, I got it working on this toaster."
Now it's funny. Both of us seemed to gravitate to cultural relevance for our measure.
It's the ultimate game. I think it has to be to a certain degree.
But does it? Couldn't the ultimate game just
Like Dwarf
have
Fortress.
amazing music,
is pretty amazing.
amazing art direction, amazing story? Doesn't an ultimate game have to have everything? And to me, to call Doom ultimate in this day and age, for how technologically limited and how, by modern standards, rudimentary it is. And to be clear, I'm
But
making
then
the
how do you
arguments
define,
against my own.
So are you only saying WoW 2004?
I am not. Yes, I am talking about
Okay.
WoW, not what it's become.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's so hard.
I don't know. It's really difficult. And the thing is that to pick an ultimate game, right? It is
Music is pretty
inherently.
epic in Doom.
It's inherently sort of within the scope of your own experiences, right? Like
It's
would
hard
be,
to detach yourself.
you
from
know,
it.
I would love to say that Final Fantasy VI is the ultimate game, because in my mind there are a lot of things that it did as well or better than almost any modern game, and it managed to do it in 1994 or whenever it came out, something like that. That incredible cast of characters, like the story, the music, so good.
If you can basically copy paste everything you said about that and apply it to WoW 2004, and I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I don't know.
And
It's just for me, WoW has this extremely tarnished legacy, which sucks. But then
Sure
so
does.
does like a lot of
so does a lot of the entire gaming
Yes.
industry.
Yes. So it's like
Which is part of why this conversation about what's going on at Activision Blizzard is so important.
I was telling this story a few days ago about tattoos. I don't have any tattoos. I'm not against tattoos. I
Right.
just think I don't care.
Okay, sure, fair enough.
And like, why bother get it if I just don't care? But when I was younger, I like sort of maybe wanted one, but I couldn't decide on what I wanted, so I wasn't gonna get something for no reason.
Yeah.
And I was like this really, really diehard fan of Morrowind and Oblivion, so I was like, maybe I should get the dragon.
Yeah.
I was like, that'd be
Thank
sick.
goodness you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason why I didn't was because at that time, I luckily had the thought of like, they're still making these. Like, I'm not gonna do this if there's like this chance that they're gonna just ruin it.
Yeah, I
right?
love that. I love
Like,
that. That's great. And you know what? You know what's really funny is I can't claim to have had a similar thought. But if there is a brand that I have ever fanboyed for harder than anything else, it would be Star Wars.
Oh, right. Oh, no. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like that's
How much would it suck to
yeah.
have you know what though? The thing about Star Wars is that at least if they're gonna
You
if
can
they're
headcanon it pretty hard.
if they're well, there's that. And at least if they're gonna destroy it, they destroy the names and the logos for the new destroyed garbage.
Oh, it's
is
different.
like older.
It's a little different.
So if you have like an OG like Rebel Alliance, tattoo on your shoulder blade or something like that,
they're
at least
gonna go to that timeline though. I bet you at some point. There's no way it's sacred. There's no way.
yeah, nothing is sacred.
No.
Nothing is sacred.
No.
And I don't even want to hear it, chat. The new Star Wars movies are objectively
They're trash.
kind of garbage.
Yeah.
And it's so disappointing, especially because I think Disney did such a great job with Marvel overall. I gotta admit, post Endgame, I'm kind of checked out on MCU.
There's just been so much.
It's just kind of too much, and it felt like they did this amazing job of largest, collab of all time, and giving this closure. And then I just I watched
And now they still want
the
more money,
next
so they gotta
one,
keep going.
and I forget what the next one was. Spider-Man something? Spider-Man Far From
Homecoming,
Home?
something like that.
Something like that. And I was just like, yeah, this is like entertaining. And I watched Black Widow, and I was like, yeah, this is entertaining.
Probably all going to be fine. Like the MCU has a very solid base minimum,
But I'm just not that engaged. And it's not even that Iron Man was my favorite Avenger or something. I'm an adult. I don't have a favorite color or a favorite fictional character. I just don't really I don't really engage with things that way anymore, the way that I used to. It's
you might. So I would say that I probably have a favorite Avenger, but the amount that I care is extremely low, if that makes sense.
Sure. Okay. You know what? I mean, if we're gonna be completely off topic and talking about crap that totally doesn't matter anyway, who is your favorite Avenger, Luke?
Captain America.
Okay, I knew it.
I'm
I
boring
freaking knew
today.
it. I
okay?
wanted to.
I'm boring
I wanted
today.
to.
I picked Doom.
I wanted
I
to
picked
say it
Captain
before you, but
America.
you said it so fast. I was like, gee, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, freaking always stands up for the little guy. I wonder who Luke would be a fan
I like
of.
Captain America. He's cool. I based my haircut off of him.
I love it. Yeah, I do actually know that. Wait, no, I thought you picked Thor for your more recent haircut.
I tried and it didn't work, so I went back to Captain America.
So you're back to
Because
Captain
it's
America.
who I really am.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Yeah, notice how it's short again?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it didn't
Okay.
work.
So
I just
all
kind of
right,
looked
Cap.
like a mess.
All right, Cap.
See, but then I don't actually really care. So like, there's that component.
All right. Fair enough.
Like if he dies, I don't even know. He might be dead now. I haven't kept up with the movies.
yeah, I think he dies of old age. So.
Yeah, it's like not gonna bother me. So
All right. You know what? People are asking. They're discussing my favorite Marvel superhero. I straight up do not have one. I have least favorite ones. I have ones that I
Okay.
just find intolerable. But other than that, I just don't really.
who's your least? Do we go down this path?
My least favorite is Superman, and
He's just boringly
and
Imba.
and all variants of Superman.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, so there's a lot of Superman. Like Captain Marvel is Superman. Superman is Superman. Like it's not interesting. I tend to like, you know, your Batmans and your I guess Iron Man to an extent. Like the ones that are just like a person
Yeah,
with no particular special
they're
powers.
not like bulletproof
Yeah,
and everything else proof.
bulletproof is not interesting because a lot of the interesting conflicts that can happen are with, you know, the grunt level soldiers. So being able to just mow them down by whipping out your laser eyes, it creates this sort of disposability.
You also have, and I think the MCU might be running into this, but I don't care enough to know, so whatever.
Yeah,
But you have a power ramp issue when you start fighting gods all the time, or godlike beings, or whatever you want to call them.
yes.
You have this crazy power ramp issue. But if humanoid targets are always at least somewhat difficult,
If they could conceivably take you down,
yeah,
Bite Pond says Batman and Superman are not Marvel characters. Yes, but my
we're talking
point.
superheroes.
So Captain Marvel would be a terrible Marvel superhero, in my opinion, because she's Superman.
Yeah. It's just the like incredibly overpowered and vulnerable, more
Yes.
or less, can fly, has extremely narrow range of vulnerabilities.
A Superman alike can go anywhere instantly and do anything is not interesting. So you know, Hulk is more interesting to me.
I think the Hulk's pretty cool.
I think in terms of like Marvel heroes that I find boring, you know, I think Scarlett Johansson did an amazing job of everything that she was given. I wish she was given a slightly less crap hero to play.
yeah.
Yeah, because and part of that is just a writing problem. They never really took advantage of her strengths.
Yes.
There was
I was just going to say, I like that style of quote-unquote superhero, though.
Yes.
Because she is just a person, and we were just talking about how that's cool.
Yes.
But I think she's underutilized.
She was
Yeah.
horribly poorly written. Probably
Yeah.
the best moment for her in the entire, like, I guess it's like 25 movies is sort of start to Avengers Endgame. The best moment for her is when she's captured by someone, supposedly, and she's, like, you know, been, you know, hit, and she's tied to a chair, and she gets a phone call, and she's like, look, I'm in the middle of an interrogation, because they're like telling her everything, and I'm like, right, that's what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to be stealthy, and then you've got her like going toe to toe with the rest of the Avengers on that stupid airstrip, and I'm
Like, I
sitting
think
here
they
going,
could have used her like espionage side of things
way better,
much more. Yeah.
So that was extremely disappointing.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is extraordinarily off topic. Do we have any other tech things that we can talk about?
Are we done? Whatever topic we're currently on.
I can't remember what we're talking about anymore.
It's official. PC is the ultimate hardware of all time. Blah, blah,
Okay,
blah, blah.
so no, it's not, because that's really stupid, and Dark Souls is also not, because that's really stupid. They're both really stupid. I'm sorry.
Oh my.
Oh, you do you, Golden Joystick. All right, what do you want to talk about next?
We can do this one just because it's fast. And
Sure.
then we can offboard onto this, onto sponsors maybe. But Tesla, now to use footage it records of you, essentially for
This
the
is
full...
not a fast topic. We got to talk about this.
Okay. For the full self-driving assistance program, in its agreement, it says that it's going to use footage from outside and inside the vehicle. While incident footage has been gathered before for AI training, the new agreement consents to Tesla's collection of VIN-associated image data. So if you get in a crash while using it, Tesla will have the footage from your car.
Wow.
You spend an incredible amount of money for some incredibly extensive surveillance of you.
Wow.
I can understand how this data would be useful.
Oh, yeah.
I'm also stunned.
Because if I'm Tesla, I'm looking at it going, hey, at some point, a regulatory body is going to come after me when there's some kind of collision and
Some brutal one.
16 people die.
We hit a bus.
Yep.
It's all kids. People care about kids a lot.
Yep. I need to cover my butt in terms of liability. That is why this is happening. Full stop. So don't imagine anything other than that this is about Tesla protecting their own liability so that in the event that that happens, they are going to do absolutely everything they can to pin it on the driver.
I don't in our notes there isn't a reason, so I can't even like really debate that because I can't think of. I mean, it would because it's full self-driving. That's the confusing part to me.
Well, in full self-driving, you are still supposed to be hands basically on the wheel, right?
Yeah.
So there's a number of problems here, right? There's the problem that Tesla is still using that full self-driving and autopilot branding when neither of those things are either of those things. And the other problem is that people are using this technology, which is not validated, it's not fully cooked, and they're using it on public roads without any kind of, I mean, really anything. Like if I was an insurer at this point, I would be trying to figure out, if your car has this kind of a feature, I'd be trying to figure out what impact that does or should have on your premium, because if something goes wrong, I don't even know who I'm going to go after for it. Like it's going to get really complicated.
So Electrek's website
Yeah.
says specifically that the fact that Tesla added that language specifically related to safety risks and accidents would point towards the automaker looking to secure usable evidence in case of an accident where its full self-driving system is blamed. So yeah, they're trying to use it against you. Well,
Yep.
That's what Electrek thinks as well. Essentially, they're agreeing with you.
Fantastic says they really just need to change the names. Yeah, they really do. Because ultimately what's going to happen is people are going to make assumptions because people do not read detailed documentation on things.
Hey!
Okay, in my defense on that whole deleting the desktop
No,
environment
basically
thing,
nobody does.
that was terminology that even if I had read it, I would not have understood that I was removing my entire desktop environment. Or I might have if I was
think you
paying
might have.
really careful
I
attention.
think you might have. Yeah.
But not when I was reading like I was just doing something basic like installing a program. Anyway, the point is people don't read these things. They make assumptions based on the names of things. Like this product, it's called the water bottle. Let's say, for example,
It was actually a hammer.
it was actually, I mean, it might be an okay hammer, but
it did probably do all right.
but at some point, I'm probably in my use of it as a hammer, I'm probably going to make some kind of mistake that will cause damage to my hammer or myself. And, if we install the camera in every one of the water bottle hammers, so that we could prove that when, you break the vacuum seal and it causes some kind of a problem or something, so that we could prove that it was because you were using it as a hammer instead of a water bottle or whatever. Man.
I wonder what happens if you cover the internal cameras.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that it's going to disable your self-driving.
Oh, so yeah.
It would have to,
Yeah.
obviously. So then that's the thing, too, is like Tesla is now pulling a bait and switch here because anyone who already paid for full self-driving, and Tesla has been selling full self-driving, whether directly, whether actually taking your money or or selling it as a future promise
It'll work on this car.
for years now. So they have effectively promised something, whether it is future self-driving capabilities for your vehicle that you can upgrade to, or whether it is an actual software package that you have paid them for. They have promised this under a set of conditions that is no longer accurate. So you could make the argument, and they got sued recently, actually, over someone buying a version of a Tesla vehicle that Tesla said would be compatible with full self-driving, that they then went back to them and said, well, it's compatible in the sense that you can
To buy this hardware.
pay
upgrade.
for new hardware in
Yeah.
order to upgrade them. And they're like, actually, no, that isn't what you said. So they're being sued for that, I believe, right now. But I could see this going class action, and I could see people suing them saying, well, look, I wouldn't have made this purchase if I had realized that having a camera pointed at me that is feeding data, obviously feeding data onto your server, whether they admitted it before or not, I actually don't remember, but it was obviously doing it.
I have no idea.
So this is feeding data onto your server that monitors me while I'm in my understanding is, at least in many jurisdictions, a private place
I didn't know they had.
inside your car.
It is, yeah.
It is.
I didn't know they had internal cameras at all, personally.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah, I just didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
they're to monitor driver attentiveness. But the claim, my understanding is, the claim in the past has been that it's locally handled, that it's just monitoring driver attentiveness.
Oh, they might just be changing that. It might
Right.
not send it yet. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So
okay.
either
okay.
way,
Yeah.
if I bought this car based on my understanding that it worked as a local attentiveness monitoring thing, then effectively that could be an enormous class action.
I could see people potentially getting refunded for the full self-driving module.
If you get, or not even that, remember the vehicle as well. If you bought the vehicle on the basis of this perceived upgrade path, even if you don't own a full self-driving module, you might make the argument that I spent an extra X. I spent an extra $8,000 on a Tesla because my understanding was that I was going to have full self-driving that did not involve a camera pointed at me and reporting on me to Big Brother. This could be freaking enormous. It could be freaking enormous. AJ says they were saying that it was disabled and would be utilized for the self-driving taxi feature in the event of vandalism IRC. This is a big problem with Tesla, is they just...
Yeah, they changed stuff.
I mean, we know who's the problem, right? They just talk out their butts, and then the story changes, and the Tesla fanboys and apologists just say, "Oh, but it's okay because they're changing the world. They're building the future." Right, but the ends don't justify the means. Like, we actually do need to have integrity about this future that we're building. Otherwise, is it one that we really want to live in? Is a question we should be asking ourselves.
Another question is this the ultimate car scandal of all time? I'm kidding. It's not.
No, there's been some pretty big car scandals.
I
I
just
don't
memeing
think
on the previous topic.
there's a single automaker that is faultless. I mean, we've all seen the how many people is it
diesel
going to
thing.
kill versus the cost of the
Oh,
recall
yeah.
calculations.
Yeah.
You know, every corporation past a certain size, as far as I can tell, is basically monstrous.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, that's the thing.
Clem says no, that would definitely be Nikola Motors, where they like actually had nothing, and they were claiming they had like a semi that worked, but actually they like rolled it down a hill and stuff. You didn't follow
I
that?
forgot about those guys. Yeah, wait, what happened?
That was
with
like
them?
the Theranos of cars. They just, as far as we could tell, they had absolutely
So
nothing.
did they take like investment money or something? Okay. Yeah, I remember hearing about. I probably saw that video of that truck rolling down the hill. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Oh
yikes.
man.
Anyways, sponsors.
Yeah, we should definitely do sponsors. Who sponsored the show today? I'm sure someone did.
Humio.
Our first sponsor, LTTstore.com.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. I'm
Whoa.
going there.
What?
LTT has a Black Friday deal. If you add a meme product to the cart, so that is the, where is it? Why are these not on the front page? Dang it, we've got a sale running. You guys. So if you add a meme face sequin pillow, or a sad Linus or Linus Selfie desk pad or mouse pad, you'll get $20 off orders over $30. So basically, you buy these and one other thing, and you're getting the pillow or the mouse or desk pad for like $5 or $10 respectively. So there you go. These sequin pillows are hilarious because you can like draw on them because they're sequin pillows. Hold on, see, that's one of my favorites. Actually, this is probably my favorite. Sunglasses and joint, Linus. Anyway, right. So the actual sponsors of the show.
Thanks to ShipStation for sponsoring today's WAN show. The holidays are coming up, which means we're about to be in the busiest time of year. Between growing your business, managing inventory, and juggling orders, you've got a lot going on this holiday season. Make shipping the easiest part of your day with ShipStation. Figuring out the best way to ship your orders can be frustrating and confusing. ShipStation makes it quick, easy, and convenient. You can easily import orders from any sales channel, automate just about any shipping task, which means you can spend less time sorting through orders and more time doing what you do best. And ShipStation integrates all selling channels into one simple dashboard. That means you can seamlessly connect carriers, print shipping labels, and get products out the door fast. Over 100,000 sellers use ShipStation for their business, and it's never too early to start prepping for the holiday rush, so get a head start with ShipStation. Use our offer code WAN to get a 60-day free trial just in time for the holidays. That's 2 months of stress-free holiday shipping for free. Just head to ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page, and type in WAN. ShipStation. Make ship happen.
What's up, Nick? Have I gotten in trouble for doing anything like wearing this jacket on the stream earlier? I'm showing off more LTT store stuff. Oh, there was actually something that I totally wanted to leak. What was it? Oh man, it was something super cool that I had wanted to talk about. I give up. All right, what's up?
I've just given up on life at this point.
Yeah, that's fine.
The second activation code. Good work. That's what we need to reboot the mainframe.
Oh, it's different than what I said.
Because the Shopify discount implementation is like not.
Oh crap. Okay, sorry. The Shopify discount implementation is like doesn't allow the thing something. Use BFCM to save $15 on any Linus Face Meme products. We can change it to 20. 20 is fine.
Well, you don't have to buy anything else.
Oh, you don't have to buy anything else.
That's why.
Oh yeah, no, that would be bad then. Okay, yep.
It's only 15.
Yeah, so sorry, it's only 15 instead of 20. Yeah, no, sorry. We'd be eating it on that one. That would be not very good. Hey, thanks, Nick. Hey. There you go. Datam says, why is your shipping to the EU so expensive? Because the EU is super far away.
Because shipping to the EU is expensive.
Yeah, we're so our average markup on shipping is, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of 5% right now. Or are we even making money on? Oh, it's negative 10% now.
We're trying to fix it.
Okay. It's supposed to be his margin target for shipping is 10%, so that we'll have like a slush bucket so that we can use to run ship. You might have noticed we haven't run any shipping promos in a very long time. That's because there's no slush bucket. I didn't know we were losing money on shipping though. Cool.
You did know.
Did I know that? Okay, well I've forgotten that.
I have a feel. Was it his idea?
Um,
No. Okay.
Someone's like, "Can I recommend a warehouse nearby?" No, you can't.
That's not the
Operating
point.
an additional warehouse is not going to help us save on overhead.
Yeah, we're fixing it. But
Yeah. No. That would you'd just be paying for it in the cost of the product instead of paying for it in the shipping. So you're solving one problem, adding another. Oh, man. All right.
Back to topics.
Yeah, why don't we get back to the topics?
Is
That
your
was
thing fixed?
a very disruptive thing. Yes, it is. Wonderful.
Very
So
good.
now I can say words fuck and damn. Hopefully. I just tried out my new swear bleep button, so we're gonna see if that worked. Oh man, I love this show. That's why this show is so great.
Mine was
Oh, okay.
a lie.
Everett H asks for an update on the Kickstarter hammer. Sent a merch message.
There isn't one.
There's no update. No update on the Kickstarter hammer. All right, what do you want to talk about?
Stabilize the port.
Um,
Find Ethereum crystals. Take them to the ether
let's
reactor.
see. Let's go through some topics. GPU prices are going up again.
Oh shoot, the timing is apparently off for the beep. Oh boy. Okay, well, Linus, please, this is a Christian stream. Oh no. Okay, well, I thought I was bleeping it. That's extremely
If
unfortunate.
there's a delay from when you press the button, that's a pretty rough system.
Thorny green, this is not a green screen.
Is there any ETA on it being like not this?
No, there's no ETA on that, but it's definitely not a green screen.
Yeah. It just looks.
Oh my
not
goodness.
great.
Oh, people want the code. People want the code for the discount. Okay, we gotta sell some Linus meme.
You gotta buy your meme products.
meme face
I
products here.
understand.
I can't find it. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Here, BFCM. BFCM. Here you go, guys. BFCM is the code. My brain hurts now. All right.
I smile as your pile up.
What are we talking about? Let's start a topic.
Sure.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness. People aren't even tuning out. They seem to be enjoying the technical difficulties more than the show
The
itself.
fire.
Viewership's going like
The
this.
fire.
No, let's put out the fire.
No, more fire.
No, enough
More-
fire.
More fire is more viewers. We need more fire.
No, stop.
Someone knock the wall down.
No. Please.
Speaking of more fire, GPU prices are going up again.
I didn't even want to talk about this because
We
it's
don't
just
have to.
sad. No,
We can
just do
skip
it.
it.
Talk me through it.
A post on the board channels forum indicates that AMD prices are set to increase by 10%. Apparently, this is mostly due to TSMC foundry costs going up. The next shipment of AMD RX 6000 GPUs should reflect the price increase of roughly 20 to 40 USD per card. This cost is currently affecting add-in board partners, so if we're lucky, that won't be passed on to the consumer. LOL!
There's not enough margin for
There's
them to not pass it
literally
along.
no chance.
Yeah,
That's not a thing.
I'm gonna say that's a 0% probability.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that literally can't work. Like he was saying, the margins are so low, it's not gonna happen. There are rumors that AMD is switching from TSMC to Samsung. That would be really interesting.
Yeah. I doubt it.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, going from one process node to another one like that is not. I mean, it's possible that AMD was already working on that.
if it's been in the works for a while, then sure. But like,
Yeah, but I doubt they're trying to figure out how to dual source their current products. That's probably going to be something that's more like RDNA 3 or something like that.
yeah. A lot of their recent success has been working with TSMC. Absolutely, that's
Yeah.
very true.
A lot of everyone's recent success has been working with TSMC. I think you can pretty much draw a line in between people with recent success and people who don't work with TSMC.
Oof.
Oof.
Oof. With this news coming off the heels of the 10% price hike rumor, it may be that AMD simply can't afford to continue using TSMC. That one I'm not so certain about, but it would definitely eat margins really badly. And
Yep,
and
yep.
I can understand why they would want a price hike. Samsung is apparently building a new $17 billion advanced chip plant in Texas. An estimated production start date of 2024. It will also, as far as my understanding goes, take them a fair amount of time to like warm up to their full capabilities.
Yeah.
And they could make, apparently, chips as advanced as 3 nanometer.
Dang.
Whoa.
Dang.
Whoa.
3 nanometer sounds pretty good. That's very few nanometers.
That is a very small
That's a
amount of
very
nanometers.
small number of
That is a
nanometers.
100% confirmed very small amount of
Yeah,
nanometers.
that's not enough nanometers, quite frankly.
We need more.
I think I need more nanometers. I mean, why do we accept 3 nanometers when we could have 35 nanometers?
Yeah, I'm cheesed. to be
Well,
honest.
maybe 35 is too much. I think 14 is the right number of nanometers.
The exact perfect amount. We
Let's
should
go back
never-
to
We
14.
should never move off of 14.
Let's have 14
Ever.
nanometers forever.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's a thing. That's sad.
Yeah, that's like really disappointing, but also basically has already been happening. This is just, in my
Yeah.
mind,
Yeah.
AMD and TSMC just clawing back some of the value that had been scooped up by bottom feeders later on in the chain. I mean, this comes back to a conversation we had more recently where we talked about, okay, if a GPU is going to be $1,000 instead of $500, who should get that money?
Right.
Should it be TSMC and AMD who actually made investments and designed and built these things, or should it be some scalper on Facebook Marketplace? If someone has to have it, I guess it should be
the people putting the R&D
people
into the product.
putting the R&D into the product, so that at the end of the day, at least if it sucks for gamers today, in theory, it turns into bigger R&D budgets for better products for gamers in the future, if capitalism is working correctly.
Or hopefully more fab capacity or whatever.
Well, that's exactly it. Yeah. So it can be reinvested.
Yeah.
Because some Facebook Marketplace, scalper is not reinvesting in any way other than to build a better bot so that they can scalp you harder next time.
Gamers Nexus. Want to talk about this one?
Yeah, let's talk about.
Gamers Nexus buys
Gamers
a
Nexus.
scam in quotes pre-built from iBuyPower with a 10-year-old GPU. Yikes! It's the iBuyPower Element Mini 167A for $700. It has a Ryzen 5 3600. It is 8 gigabytes of 3000 megahertz RAM, a 250 gigabyte SSD, and a 2 gigabyte GT 730, which is a 730 in name only. It is a Fermi GF 108-300-A1, aka a GT 430. Ooh, that wasn't even a good card when it came out. Was that literally the card? No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think it was the 210 or something, or 240
You
or
know what I'm
something
talking
like
about?
that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Big yikes. The Amazon listing they bought it from had a bunch of mistakes, like listing 16 gigabytes of RAM, 1 gigabyte hard drive, and a 4-core processor. What? Okay. Unsurprisingly, this is the worst pre-built they've ever bought. Most benchmark games they use wouldn't even run. Games that did run had horrible performance. The A&O performs better than this thing. Nice. A&O.
I gotta confess, I kind of feel like this is sort of a water is wet.
Yeah, like, wait, what?
Revelation here, because pre-builts with old crappy GPUs, many of which are rebranded even older crappy GPUs, are not really a new thing. To be clear, I don't think iBuyPower should be marketing this as a gaming desktop at all. That's really stupid. But this also isn't really anything new. Like, I remember buying at Future Shop. We talked about good old Future Shop not that long ago. I remember, buying something that the sales rep told us would be good for gaming when I didn't know anything about computers yet, and finding out that it had onboard graphics. And remember, this was back when Intel's onboard graphics were not even good onboard graphics.
I still remember going to the Future Shop in Langley back when Future Shop existed.
Yeah.
And trying to find a graphics card with my dad, and going through all the different components that they had there and stuff, and the old art that used to be on graphics card boxes was so
right?
cool. And I know nothing about it. My dad luckily knew some stuff, so that was great. But I knew nothing, so I was like, "Ooh, pretty box art. I want this one." But yeah, I don't know. This is very confusing. So the notes are talking about an Amazon article, which is interesting, and then the link for the Element Mini is to the Microsoft Store, which seems to have things listed correctly in terms of specs.
Yeah, I think that the big problem is just that this GT 730 is a GT 430, which was garbage when it came out and is definitely garbage today, and obviously doesn't perform very well. So the big problem here is calling things gaming when they are obviously not capable of gaming in any kind of modern sense. So that's...
What's going on here, though? Is NVIDIA calling this card that? Is iBuyPower just stickering it? What's happening here? I feel like I'm missing something. Am I just being dumb?
Yeah, I mean, it's all stuff. So it's all stuff that's bad, but none of it is new.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, at $600 it's not exactly a great deal or anything, but it's not like you aren't getting, it's not like that would cost a ton more than $600 or a ton more than $700. Excuse me. It's not like it would cost you. My trip is starting to catch up to me a little bit. I've not slept enough. I'm pretty good at managing jet lag.
Can you talk about that at all? Can you even say where you were?
I was in Tel Aviv.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna end it there.
And we're gonna end it right there.
Yeah. Just so people understand why there's jet lag going on.
So this is a 3600 Ryzen 5. That's a $270 Canadian processor. So what is that, like 210, 200, around $200 US, something like that. There's some RAM, there's a case, there's a power supply.
There's
so
RGB fans, as far as I can
RGB
tell.
fans. Like it's not like a scam in the sense that you think you're buying a computer and it ships with a brick inside. You know, like $20 worth of concrete or cement inside it. Like it's not like that, but it's just a really, really terrible deal. Which again is nothing new in the pre-built computer world.
And I guess the whole this is still this old graphics card thing is not new either, but bringing light to it's probably pretty chill.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be a thing. Rebranding products shouldn't be a thing. That's something we've spoken out about in the past, because the only reason to do it is to mislead users, to make them think that it's something newer than what it is. That's literally the only reason to do it. So we've criticized rebadging graphics cards in particular. Seem to go through this a lot.
Oh, and they've been going through it for the entire time that I've been interested in computers as well.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
This is not even close to new.
I still remember getting absolutely enraged at Sapphire way back in the day, because there was a variant of I actually finally forget the details of it. I guess time does heal all wounds. It was some variant of a 9600 or something like that had a cut down memory bus. Because that was the big one back in the day.
Yeah.
Was they would have the memory bus, which would